Quality, innovation, respect, and integrity. Take steps to invest in your career. International Management Consultancy is the leading global marketplace for learning and instruction, helping professionals across the industry to develop skills and expertise to get recognition and growth in the corporate world. We are one of the leading training providers and gradually spreading our training facility amongst candidates based at different geographies, such as Canada, United States of America, United Arab Emirates, Saudi, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Lebanon, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Philippines, India, and many other countries across the globe. IMC is accredited by the highest industry standards. We put in the efforts and we work to prove our commitment to offering our clients only the best and of superior quality. With a uniquely immersive curriculum that combines live instruction from the leading experts, peer-to-peer collaboration, on-demand lessons, unlimited online trainings, and 24/7 learning support. IMC helps over thousands of professionals learn their skills needed to advance their careers and reach their full potential. In line with our commitment to excellence, IMC offers a number of training courses preparing professionals for certifications and exams given by the international associations in areas like management, finance and accounting, human resources, sales and marketing, quality administration, and as well as project management. By fully attending these courses and successfully completing the requirements of the certifying body, participants will receive a special certificate which recognizes their dedication and commitment and in many cases help them earn valuable continuing education credit. IMC Consultants has been working together with their clients from various industries in aligning their people and processes to compete through high speed, excellent quality, and low cost. We strongly believe that the key to our success is our total commitment in delivering value to our clients based on integrity, honesty, and openness. If you are uncertain about which roles or skills are best for you, hurry! Come visit our website or talk to our expert education consultants today. Take a step, invest in your future, empower your knowledge, and be one of our success stories. International Management Consultancy, excellence is what we deliver.
It's a blank screen that you can see here. I hope it's okay for everyone. Just want to be sure.
Yep, we can see a
perfect
clear screen.
Great. All right, so let me introduce myself very briefly again. So my name is Shashi Prakash. I'm a certified Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt, and a very quick. Okay, I can show. That's my profile, and so practically I have been engaged with the Lean Six Sigma world since 2014. Like my overall work experience is roughly over 22 years now. It's still an old one. So roughly about 22 years. Primarily that has been into service industry, and since 2014, I have been doing active training and consulting for Lean Six Sigma clients and all. So my area of expertise is Lean Six Sigma. Practically, I don't do anything else. I'm a registered project management practitioner, so I use my PMP knowledge for driving my Lean Six Sigma projects. If I talk about my engagements, most of my work happens to be in Middle East and in Europe. I have if I talk about institutions, like one of the couple of premium institutions from India I've been engaged with is IITs and IIMs. I've delivered at most of these institutions. I've been doing these trainings for Qatar University for almost like 3 years now. Practically, this is the core. If I talk about the core area, that's what I sort of work with. If I talk about the kind of industries we have catered to, it ranges from oil and natural gas, constructions, IT, when I talk about data centers, healthcare, hospitality, and whatnot. Practically, there's no end to Lean Six Sigma. So whichever so when we are Lean Six Sigma professionals, there's no boundaries defined for you. Every industry is your industry, every department is your department, every domain is your domain. So your chances of doing well in your career increases by multiple times. You're not confined to a particular industry as such. So technically, I would like to kind of make sure that during our journey of this Yellow Belt program, I can pass on whatever I have understood all these years. I'm still learning, and it's great. I'm thankful to IMC for presenting me a platform where I can connect with you all professionals across the globe, because it's always a learning session. So I'm here to learn, and I'm here to kind of share whatever I have learned all this while with you all. So I hope it's going to be a great learning experience. Since we couldn't play the video as of now, let me quickly talk about certain important aspects related with IMC before we move forward. It's very important to understand the key elements. Generally, whenever we deal with the stakeholders in Lean Six Sigma world, be it recruiters or the CEOs, CXOs, and technically the people who will be hiring you as Lean Six Sigma professionals, what are the biggest criteria? One of the biggest criteria is, where have you done it from? That's a very important question, because yes, the institution matters. There is always a weightage which goes on, like where have you done it from? And on those grounds, well, congratulations, I can tell you for sure. Well, IMC has kind of covered your bases. So it is one of the reputed institutions when it comes to acceptability across the globe. Among the recruiters and the corporates, it has great acceptability. A lot of corporates are taking up these trainings and getting the certification done by IMC. And there is a reason why. Let's quickly talk about these reasons, so at least we are clear about it. Number one, we couldn't see the video right now. I'm sure Michelle will play the video in the end, so you will see that IMC is accredited with CSSC, which is Council for Six Sigma certification. It's based out of USA. It's accredited with IQF, which is International Quality Federation, which is based out of USA. It is accredited with CPD UK, which is technically one of the premium accreditations. A lot of universities in UK end up taking. Most of the universities are CPD accredited. Then we have IASSC. So in terms of the bandwidth, the weightage that needs to go on your certificate, that's already there. So UK-based IESSC accreditation is pretty much one of the most sought-after accreditations in Lean Six Sigma. IMC is approved training provider and the accredited training partner for all of them. Practically, that covers the weightage part. So from acceptability perspective, yes, you'll have these logos showing up on the certificate, which is pretty premium feeling that you get. And yes, that's how most of the recruiters globally sort of love that certificate, which comes from, it has a lot of credibility built into it. A lot of big institutions, big certification bodies have gone ahead and given their accreditations to IMC. Now, it's honestly very difficult to maintain those accreditations. And that's why we have constantly been working to ensure that what we teach is relevant to the current context, what's going on. There's no point in talking about what has become obsolete probably 10 years, 20 years ago, what happened. Probably if it's not relevant today, there's no point in using that. Because when you sit through a job interview, your recruiter is going to ask you point blank question, and which is going to be based on what's currently demanded in the market. And hence, we have constantly been revising the material, and that's why the entire training module that we go through, it's more of a project-based model. When I hire for my projects, when I hire for my clients, and generally, not only me, like a lot of recruiters, generally when we ask them a question, why do they end up rejecting the candidates? Practically, most of the recruiters have only one concern, that a lot of people have taken up certain training, they've got the theoretical knowledge, they've written the exam, they passed the exam. But when it comes to the transfer of knowledge from theory to practical, that's where the missing link is. Because unfortunately, the trainings were based on slides, and slides don't tell you how projects are actually done. So when it comes to like real world application of that to solve a business problem, that's where I might know 20 different tools, but when to use which tool is the missing link. So it's very important to ensure the way we go through the training model, it's always a project-based model. So while we learn it the right way, how a real world project will actually go. And just to ensure that, yes, this is what our participants, people who take up the training from IMC, yes, we are able to get them to do simulation-based projects. So practically, this is how a real-world project would look like. These were completed by our participants who have done it. So this is not just theory. You have understanding developed at practical level. This is level of implementation. So the recruiters have immense confidence. They get a lot of confidence in hiring somebody. I know this person is ready to start solving a problem. Rather than just knowing theory, this person knows it. So if I give you data about my business, yes, you can analyze, help me understand what's wrong with my process, and you can fix it with Six Sigma. And that's a proof. If you're able to demonstrate this is exactly right after the training. You have to practically have that level of understanding. You have to go through that project-based model to be able to develop this level of understanding. And this is how a real world project, Six Sigma project, will actually go through these phases. These are simulation projects. That's one. Let's just quickly navigate through this. These are various situations given. So we give situations, we give data, and this is how a real world situation would also look like. These were created by the people who have undergone training, exactly how a real world project has to be done. So if you are prepared, you're not just somebody who has just mugged up some stuff and written the exam, passed the exam. No, you have this level of understanding how you need to analyze and perform your statistical analysis, solve the business problem. You would, as Lean Six Sigma professional, solving bigger business challenges, and that's what it's supposed to be done. So this is one of them. Just want to at least navigate. This was about production, manufacturing related. This is about service industry, I guess. Give me one quick second. Okay, yeah, that's IT ticket closure time, which is about IT related stuff like ticket closure time. Different situations, different scenarios. Well, it doesn't matter what industry you come from. If you have got your concepts right, well, there's no foundation, never ever, that you can't do it. Practically, if you have gone through the right way of training, practically, this is what we end up developing. This is the level of expertise we would like to see through at the end of the training. So this is just a quick samples. These projects are done by the participants. And by the way, yes, participants do get an extra certificate apart from your Lean Six Sigma training certificate, which you pass and you get the certification. You get an extra certification for project completion. So that has an extra added advantage, and that's what goes on your profile. That gives immense confidence to the recruiters that this person has not just passed the exam, has demonstrated that he or she knows how to do it. Apart from that, while you were looking at all these the presentation, there were a lot of graphs and charts created, a lot of analysis done. It is done through Minitab. I do a lot of trainings for various corporates globally. People who are Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, people who are Lean Six Sigma Black Belt, they have done the training, they have passed the exam, but they have never worked on Minitab. Now, what's Minitab? It was probably about 5-10 years ago. I would say, well, people who have done Six Sigma training, then you join an organization, their company would invest money on you in terms of training you again on a Minitab. It is a software which is used in Lean Six Sigma world across the globe. 99.99% corporates use Minitab. They have to invest lots and lots of money to train the people. I do these trainings for Six Sigma professionals who have never seen Minitab. And while we train, well, pretty much we get this trained with the Minitab. Everything in this case, you must have seen it. So we do use Excel, we use parallelly Minitab. So you have all these results are done through Minitab. This is what you will be supposed to know. All these are output analysis based on Minitab. So while we do it, you don't have to go for any extra training for Minitab, because Minitab is by default covered during the course. So while we do it the right way. So practically that's about the Minitab. There's an extensive syllabus of Minitab which is there, and practically what we get, our participants who go through the training, this is the Minitab syllabus. Technically, when you talk about Minitab. This is Minitab syllabus. While we learn the Six Sigma course, well, we do it parallelly so that you don't have to even take up any extra. And this is yet another differentiating factor on your profile, which you would not find across when you're sitting through a job interview. Somebody, well, who has just passed the exam versus somebody who has passed the exam, done a simulation project, has a knowledge of Minitab, you have many brownie points to earn. So your organization will save a lot of money and you are ready or like on the go to solve a business problem. This is what we try to make sure that while we do it the right way. Last but not the least, before we get started, quick one, just wanted to talk about this because we have got people from every possible industry, practically, I hope, because we got people from every part of the world joining in right now. This is just a small compilation I've done over the period of years, different industries where Six Sigma is implemented, some case studies, how people have been implementing Six Sigma in various industries, so it's quite possible that I may not be aware of it, but people are doing it globally. So it's just about knowing it, understanding that Six Sigma has no boundaries. Every possible industry people have been doing it, and it's just going on. I continue to add to this list. I may not have been able to cover all of them, but it covers majority of them. So yes, Six Sigma has absolutely no boundaries. If you get your concepts right, I come from a service industry background, and technically I do work with those industries which I have no idea about. And honestly, I don't need to know. Do I know my concept, Six Sigma? Yes, that's more than enough. So on that note, I would like to make sure that as we go forward during this Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt program, practically I can share that knowledge, that information that I have learned over the period of years and share at least in a, again, project-based model. So you have like a more of an idea how these trainings are actually conducted, and you at least go through the entire journey. And this investment that you're doing is a fruitful one, which will help you develop the concepts of Lean Six Sigma as far as your core understanding is concerned. And yes, you will be you would be sufficient to kind of start working in a project with the basic training that we will be going through as a yellow belt. So on that note, only one expectation I have from every one of you: please do ask questions. If you have any question, please post it on your chat. I'll cover up a topic. I'll come back and ask, look at the question, answer your questions, and then move on to the next topic. So it's the only thing we got to keep in mind. There's no question which is wrong. There's nothing called a superior question or inferior question. Every question is right question. The only question which is wrong, which has not been asked. So please do post your question. I'll be more than happy to come back and answer those questions for you. So on that note, I have commitment from everyone. Do I have everyone's commitment that we will be engaged, we'll be asking questions? One person? Okay, all right. Thank you. Thanks a lot. That makes job easier. All right, so to start with, first of all, let's understand what do you mean by Lean Six Sigma. Now, is Lean Six Sigma one word or two different words we're talking about?
That's two words.
Perfect, perfect. So let's get started with Lean then. Now, Lean as a word, so when you say Lean implementations, Lean and Six Sigma, yes, you're right. It's absolutely two different words. I would say like two different words altogether. There's nothing in common there. And they are generally used together. Lean and Six Sigma are used together. Why? We will be able to understand. Let's understand them separately, first of all. What do you mean by Lean? As per your understanding, will anyone just talk about it? Reduce waste. Thank you, Kevin. You are spot on. Anyone else has a different perspective about Lean? Different perspective about Lean. Kevin has mentioned reduce waste, and that's correct. Anyone has a different idea about Lean? Anyone? Or is that okay with everyone? Reduce waste. That is not wrong. That is absolutely correct. Anyone wants to rephrase this? Same waste reduction. I'm in agreement. Not variation, Francis, but waste. Yes. Maximizing value. That's a different. Yes, that's a good perspective. Perfect. Minimizing waste, maximizing value. Perfect. So we are on the same page. Let's get this definition correct. So answers are correct. But remember, when you sit through a job interview, You might give the correct answer, but till the time your answers do not have required words, it will still be incomplete. So it's very important to make sure that we always give the answers which have all those required words which are generally expected to be in an answer. I guess somebody's trying to annotate. I would request you please not do it, and kindly put yourself on chat, like mute. I'm putting everyone back on mute. In case you have a question, please put it on chat. All right, so first thing first, your answers are correct. Let's kind of put this message across, which is identification of and elimination of waste from the process to increase efficiency without compromising on the quality of product or service. Let's break down the sentence and make it easy. We'll come back to this definition. Let's hypothetically assume there is a process, and every process has multiple steps into it. Like say we have various departments. Either we are manufacturing something or we are dealing in a service delivery process. We're delivering a service to the customer. Do we have multiple steps? So step number A, like say department A does some activities. There's some activities done in department A. The output of department A goes to department B. Now the department B starts working on it. So output of department B goes to department C, then to department E, then E, F, and so on and so forth. So we have multiple stages. Every process has multiple steps. So step number 1 goes to output, goes to step number 2, then step number 3, step number 4. Every process has multiple steps. Now, hypothetically, this process, I'm either manufacturing a product or I'm delivering a service to the customer. It takes me 15 days time. Now, what it says as per lean, use your lean knowledge, tools and techniques, whatever you understand about lean, which we haven't discussed anything. With the knowledge of the lean tools, try and figure out which of these process steps can be called as a waste. As per definition of lean, as per definition of waste, identify the waste in your process. There are lots of waste in every process. So use your lean knowledge and try to figure out which of these process steps can be categorized as a waste. Which of these process steps can be called as a waste. So hypothetically, we figured out this as per lean definition, this can be called as a waste. Step number B can be termed as a waste, and say step number F can be termed as a waste. Good job. My first part is done. I use my lean knowledge and figure out which process steps are waste. So I figure out there are 2 process steps in my process which can be called as a waste. What's the next step? Eliminate it. Simple. Make it simple. A, C, D, E, your G and H. That's it. Done. This is lean. And trust, I can't make it simpler. This is all about lean. Now it takes me only 10 days time. The extra work I was doing, the waste work I was doing was eating about 5 days for me. So step number B and G, B and F, which was validated and agreed as a waste, we have just eliminated that waste. A fat process has turned into a lean process. Simple as that. It's a very simple stuff. Lean is very, very, very simple. Look at your process, use your lean knowledge and figure out as per lean definition which process activities can be called as a waste. And practically when we're doing it, we eliminated the waste. Has it increased the efficiency of the process? Absolutely yes. The customer had to wait for 15 days for a product or service. Now customer is getting in 10 days. Is the customer happy? Absolutely yes. Are you happy as a company? Definitely yes. I've saved a lot of money. I've saved a lot of time. I've saved a lot of effort, resources, raw material. It's a win-win situation. Both parties are happy. All I did is I used my lean knowledge. So technically, remember always one thing. Lean is all about time. Lean is all about, can you deliver the product or service faster? Simple. All time-related initiative will be lean initiative. Simple concept of lean is cut down the time, make it faster. Process has to be fast. How do you do it? By identifying the waste. You identify the waste, you remove the waste, your process becomes faster. My core purpose is about time. Can you cut short the time? Can you make it faster? To make it faster, you have to remove the waste from the system. This is simple. It's absolutely about time. So lean is all about speed of the process. That's all. When you implement lean, what have you done? You optimize the efficiency of the process in terms of what? Cost, time, efforts, resources, raw material, and so on and so forth. Everything that you are doing here in step number B and F, that's been saved. You are definitely happy. Now, keeping in mind, this is all we have done is you use your lean knowledge. And trust, I can't teach you anything about lean. Each and everyone understands lean. Each and everyone has been practicing lean in a personal lives, in a professional lives. Everyone practices lean. Yes, but I'm sure that yes, we may not be knowing that the activities that we're doing, the steps that we take in a personal lives or professional lives, well, that is something what we call as lean. There are a lot of things which we do. It's a part of lean. But yes, we don't know that this is the terminology, and it falls into the lean definition. We may not be knowing the terminology. Yes, we may not be implementing the lean stuff in a structured approach. We may be doing it ad hoc basis, not in a planned manner. We may have not been quantifying it. So when you know the concept of lean, what you end up doing is you will be using that lean knowledge to implement lean in a structured approach. And when you start implementing in a structured approach, you can start measuring the improvement. So you can quantify the benefits. You can say, well, before I implemented lean, this was the status. Now, after implementing lean, this is the status. The benefits can be shown to the management. But trust, there's nothing different here. Okay, John, I hope my voice is audible to everyone. John has mentioned no audio.
Yep, it's audible.
Okay, John, I guess there could be some problem with the mic. I guess support team can look into it. So pretty much when we talk about lean, it's all about common sense. When we go and check the process, it's all about lean. And just to validate and just to make sure that each and everyone gets comfortable with the lean topics, I will play a quick short video. We have not discussed any method of lean identification. We have not discussed any method which is about waste identification, nothing. But just to validate, do you already know lean? Let's watch out a quick short video. A quick short video just to help you understand we already know lean. Okay. I hope everyone is able to hear that audio. I just played this quick short. Perfect. Now remember one thing, in this process, my objective is to deliver the product or service to the customer faster. So we will be trying to look at this entire process. So it doesn't matter what industry is it from. All you have to do is understand the process, the method of lean implementation. Remember, the core objective is to serve the customer faster. You have to deliver the product or service to the customer faster. Watch this out and we'll know what is lean. You track every single activity, every single process step. You also quantify the time that you're investing in every step. You also look at how many people are doing that activity. Everything is monitored. Like every small thing in this process will be monitored.
Toaster on the right tends to burn the toast.
Everything is counting. The time is increasing. Remember, we have to find a waste in the system.
Hey Steve, did you want that toast plain?
No. Hey, about the,
I got it.
about the,
I got it.
really, about the butter.
No, I got it.
Rach, no, really, about the butter.
Okay, here you go.
Rach, one piece would have been plenty. I really wanted jelly on it.
All right, so I hope we could figure out things which could have been done better. We had to serve the customer faster. Any suggestions what could have been done better? Yeah, that was a weird process. Yeah, but trust, we have seen worse than this in our organizations. Yes. So anything else that you can think of? The bread part of it, I do understand that's one thing which could have been looked at. Absolutely, yes. Okay. Well, she should have asked the customer first. Understanding the customer requirement was the first thing. It's so horrible, absolutely horrible. She did not understand what customer tried to explain what he wants, and she cared nothing to she cared not to listen to the customer. She had a preconceived notion, and she thought that yes, she knows what she has to deliver to the customer. Well, that's the biggest problem, and there was so much of chaos. Well, she's so much of back and forth moment, no proper planning, poor arrangement, everything was chaotic. Trust. Do we really know what to fix about this process? Yes, definitely, yes. It's common sense. Lean is all about common sense. Yes, we will be able to start learning terminologies. How do you classify a process waste? Which waste can be called like we will categorize the waste. But bottom line, it's common sense. Everyone knows lean. As I said, everyone practices lean, everyone knows lean, and we continue to do it, but we don't do it in a regular way, don't do it in a proper structured way. Yes, with knowledge of lean, you will start implementing lean in a structured way. You can quantify the benefit, but all in all, when we talk about lean, what tool is used in lean? So there's only one tool: observation. You use your lean knowledge and observe the process end to end. Every single thing is observed. You quantify the time and you try to figure out, is that activity a waste or not? As per lean definition, we would like to figure it out. What is the tool? Observation. And practically what we see is what we fix in lean. Visible issues. Visible issues can be sorted with lean. So visible issues in your process can be checked out with lean. Apply your lean knowledge and pretty much fix your process. It's common sense. It's nothing new you will be learning. When we talk about this and we will talk about waste identification, we'll be talking about that next. But there's nothing new. I'm telling you, already know all these things. It's just that, yes, these things are pretty simple. Trust, the foundation of any process is always lean. It's very, very simple, but the foundation is always laid down by the simple stuff. Lean is very boring, absolutely boring, because there's nothing new to learn. We generally will always think, well, we'll probably give more weightage to some other methods rather than lean. And that's where we go wrong. The answer to the most complex situations is always in simple solutions. And lean is the simplest solution. To stabilize the process, you need lean. The foundation of any process is lean. Lean is non-negotiable. Lean is hygiene factor. You must have lean in place. Trust, we will be fascinated by Six Sigma. Six Sigma is amazing, very interesting, new things to learn. And it has graph, charts, analysis, absolutely phenomenal. But trust, Six Sigma will come after you have done your lean. Companies where they have great lean culture, Six Sigma will show its real impact in those companies. If companies' lean culture is bad, Six Sigma will struggle there. Remember one thing, foundation on which Six Sigma works is lean. It's common sense, it's simple, it's boring, but it's essential. It's non-negotiable, it's hygiene. So on that note, let's quickly check this out. But I hope we're comfortable with the lean topic, right? What do you mean by lean? Okay with everyone? Understood, like basic concept. It's not common, it's not complicated. It's simple stuff. Is it okay with everyone? Basic understanding of lean?
Yep.
Perfect. Let's then check this out. Next one. Now, how do I classify as a waste? How do I understand that this activity will be called as a waste and this activity will be called as a value-added activity, important activity? Waste identification. How do you call something as a waste? Practically, simple solution, simple answer. Any activity which is neither required by the process or by the customer. So any activity which is not meaningful for the customer, customer feels that this activity from customer standpoint, any activity which is meaningless and it's also not required by the process, it will be termed as a waste. So there are a lot of activities and we'll see what all activities do we classify in the waste category. So whenever you start watching out your process from beginning till end, you have to apply the logic of these 7. The old version was 7 types of waste. Japanese version, 7 types of waste. Now we have 8 waste plus 1. So anyone knows what this category is? In general, it'll be good to kind of talk about it. I have my own preference. There are 2 ways people categorize waste. Anyone would like to pitch in? What are the 7 or technically 8 types of waste in a system? How do you categorize them? Yeah, T. So the acronym. Okay. Tim Woods is the acronym that we will be talking about. Tim Woods is how you categorize all the waste in the system. All the waste. Now, first of all, T stands for, anyone would like to pitch in? What is T? T is not time. Everything will kill time. Transportation. You write about this. Transportation waste. Now we'll elaborate these things. I for?
Inventory.
You write about that, inventory. M for? Motion. You write about that also. W for?
Waiting.
Perfect. Waiting waste. O, there are 2 O's, so we can go with anyone.
Overprocessing.
Overprocessing.
Overproduction.
Yes, you write about that. D, that I guess it's very simple. Yeah, defect or reworks. And last one, the 8 waste, new waste in the system. 8 waste, S. That's skills.
Yeah.
Unutilized skills. Let's elaborate these things, understand what you mean by every waste. So whenever you go to your process, any process, it doesn't matter which industry, it doesn't matter which department, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is find these waste in the system. We'll elaborate them, understand what do you mean by these. So whenever you go to your process and start looking at your process from beginning to end, every process step, try to figure out, is there a transportation waste happening? Is there an inventory waste happening? Is there a motion waste happening? All these waste have to be checked out. So does this activity fall into any waste? Yes or no? Does this activity fall into any waste? Yes or no? So all you need is understanding of these 8 waste. And then you start checking out with every activity, does it fall into a waste category? So that's how you identify. When you identify, just go about eliminating it one by one. You never change everything one fine day. So let's first of all talk about what do you call as a transportation waste. First, transportation waste is unnecessary movement of material or thing or information is transportation waste. You're shifting things from one place to another. So this is shifting things from one place to another. Why does it happen? Because lack of poor planning. You don't realize that when you're shifting material from one place to another, you are utilizing the resources of your organization, and that is a waste. You are unnecessarily doing it. Why? Because you don't plan in the first place. So you keep shifting things from one place to another. You keep moving things, and that movement may use the resources like trucks, cranes, forklifts. And this is very, very common in case of a construction industry. I see a lot because I've seen a lot of construction sites, and technically say this is one of the construction site where we are trying to build a township. We get the raw material and we dump it here. After a few days, we realize, well, that's where our tower number 1 will be constructed. So we use the crane, trucks, and then we dump it here. That's where we realize, okay, that's where our swimming pool for the society is going to be built. So we dump it here. Then we later on realize, well, that's where we will have some tower number 9. Then we keep shifting. We don't plan in the first place where this material should be kept, what's my layout, and according to it, let's dump it somewhere where I don't have to keep shifting it. We simply do it without realizing the repercussion that we have to shift this material again. So when you don't plan, you will be doing transportation waste. This is unnecessary movement of material. Remember one thing, this is excluding movement of people. So people, human movement is not included. Human beings, when you move from one place to another, that's not transportation waste. So remember, this is excluding human beings. Any material, thing, or in an IT world, it's information which is unnecessarily circulated, the unnecessary emails, the email traffic which gets created, that's a transportation waste. Unnecessary movement. It's utilizing the resources of your organization that has to be treated as a waste. So that's the basic concept of transportation. Yeah. Talking about inventory waste, this is excess of inventory, more than required. Bottom line, more than required. Like piling up, or you're like stocking up of inventory. That is inventory waste, excess. It's more than what is needed. Hypothetically, like say, we procure raw material worth, say, $10,000. That's what I procured, and now this inventory is in my store. I'm waiting for a demand to come in. So when demand comes in, I'll use the raw material, I'll make the products, and I'll sell it, I'll make money. So till the time I don't get the demand, this material is sitting in my warehouse. Now practically, is it the only, like it is a waste because your money is stuck. Your money is stuck. Your capital is stuck in form of a raw material now. A businessman's money is the money which keeps moving and you keep making money out of it. But now this money is stuck as raw material. Now, is it the only cost $10,000 or is there more hidden cost to it? Any additional cost attached to this 10,000 or that's the only money that we are stuck up with? Anything else? Any other cost? Maintenance, yes, Sanjoy, you were right about that. We call it as carrying cost, holding cost, storage cost, insurance, the resource cost, which will be managing the inventory. Practically, there's a shelf life. Every inventory gets expired. There's an obsolescence cost. Bottom line, there are a lot of things associated. There's the risk factor, which is associated. You have to manage the risk. Bottom line, you're not stocking up this inventory of 10,000. You're building more additional. This is hidden cost in the system. You don't count them. But is it what you're incurring because you have got excess inventory? Definitely yes. This is hidden cost, which we don't look at. But this is also a result of your inventory waste. And technically, good companies, and when I say talk about good companies, I'm always talking about one company only. That's Toyota. Anyone knows how much of inventory Toyota carries? Toyota is the best company when it comes to lean. Toyota, car manufacturer. How much of inventory Toyota keeps in the warehouse? Any tentative idea? Like inventory worth 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. How much of inventory? Any vague, wild idea? Probably if you've heard of something like that. How much of inventory do they carry? Zero. Toyota doesn't keep an inventory. Nothing. When I say zero, I honestly mean Toyota works with JIT concept. JIT stands for just in time approach. That's the philosophy of lean. They are crystal clear. They are the ones who gave the word lean to the world. Toyota is where the word lean came to the world. Practically introduced the concept lean to the world. These guys really understood that this process for waste identification, inventory is a big curse because you are not stocking up your raw material, you're stocking up a lot of additional getting blocked. You're wasting a lot of money. This just in procure, only procure when at the right time, at the right place, at the price. Nothing before, nothing after, nothing less, nothing more. At the right time. That's the philosophy they work with, because they understood in the very beginning when they introduced the concept of lean that this is a big cardinal sin. When you're kind of blocking up your money, you're storing up inventory, you are utilizing a lot of additional resources also, and that is a big cost. Practically, Toyota manages. Well, obviously, there's a shortage of semiconductors globally. There's a hue and cry about semiconductors. How is Toyota able to manage that? Because these guys were smart enough to understand from the beginning itself. They paid an extra premium to get an exclusive first right contract. Now, what is this exclusive first right contract? They paid an extra premium to get that contract, which gives them the right on the inventory, which is spare parts manufactured. So if a semiconductor gets manufactured, first right on that semiconductor is of Toyota, because they secured a legal deal with those vendors who were original equipment manufacturers who manufacture the semiconductors and various other parts, which is used in Toyota cars. Technically, they blocked everyone with the exclusive deal by paying extra premium. People were looking for discounted money. They paid an extra premium to secure the deal. They were smart enough to understand that. Why? Because they understood that if I try to get a negotiated lesser amount, I pay a lesser amount to get the fee, I still have to bear that extra cost, and that's an extra headache. I'm sort of having it for myself. So rather than bearing that extra headache, why not leave that to the vendor himself and we are paying this job of managing inventory, stocking of inventory is the vendor's a headache, not mine. I will pay, because any which ways I'm paying this. It's a feel good factor for me that I'm paying a lesser amount and getting a discounted money, but I end up paying much more than that by doing this. So let's pay an upfront extra and let's take ourselves out of this particular mess of managing inventory. So Toyota had this initial days. This was Toyota factory. This factory means a manufacturing unit, means 100% manufacturing unit. Toyota had a contract with its vendors, which had a 30 minutes clause. Your offices can be anywhere. We don't care. You got to be working with Toyota as a vendor. You have to be within 30 minutes drive. Within 30 minutes. This is old version, not the current version. I'll tell you the current version for sure, but this is old version of Toyota. As per the contract, your offices, you can be anywhere. We don't care. You try to become a supplier of Toyota, you have to be within 30 minutes drive, within 30 minutes. We will not stock up inventory. It's your job. You are a supplier. You stock up inventory. We are manufacturers. We will manufacture. Simple. The moment people book a car, they pay a token money at a car dealer. through the ERP system, to the centralized system, they get to know, say, for example, 50 cars are booked at different car dealers. So there's a demand created for 50 cars. They'll inform that we need spare parts for 50 cars, 50 cars, 50 cars, not 49, not 51, 50 cars only. And as per the contract, they had to deliver within 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Everyone must deliver with 30 minutes. As per the contractual agreement, they have to deliver it. So they don't procure in advance, they only procure what is demanded by the customer, and they don't have any storage space because customer is already waiting for it. The moment it's out of the gate, there's no storage, neither for raw material nor for finished good. They're out of the gate because the customer has already paid the token money and the customer is waiting. Bottom line, they work with just in time. And this is old version. You know, the current version, they have become even more demanding. That's the Toyota facility. And right around the fence, 1,500 plus suppliers here. You can't be anywhere. We want, we will ask for it. We want, we'll ask for it. Plus suppliers right around the boundary of Toyota. Well, we need it, we'll ask for just in time. They're absolutely living this philosophy which they gave to the world. So it's not they practice what they preach. They were the one who gave the word concept clean. Now, big concern for most of the companies. Well, not everyone can be Toyota. At times you're big and you're a small company or you're medium-sized company. You cannot dictate with your supplier. Yes, that's true. Then you have to stock up inventory. You have to stock up some inventory. You can't be working with zero model. So you work with a safety stock. Now that's out of scope for a yellow belt or for that matter, we get into this when you're doing the consulting work. But practically just to extra, like if in case you're interested, inventory management is your part, probably do search something which is EOQ model. You will get a lot of literature. It's a very simple model. EOQ model is economic, order, quantity model. Now, what does it tell us? EOQ model. Simple concept. When you order in bulk, you pay a lesser price. When you order less, you pay a higher price. EOQ model will tell you exactly how much should be the minimum inventory that you should order at a minimum price. So it will give you the right sweet spot where you just get lowest possible inventory at lowest possible cost. And that is, you just need to Google up, you will get lots of literature on this. So EOQ model is for the people who are into inventory management. So this is how, bottom line, all you got to do is rationalize, think, and evaluate and observe your process. Do you have excess inventory? You got to look into it because that's going to cost you extra waste. Okay, before we move ahead, we've talked about transportation in one. Quick check with everyone. Is it okay?
Yep.
Let's then talk about motion waste. The motion waste is necessary. Here we talk about people moving. So if you need to do excess of movement to do your job, it's motion waste. Well, that's a lot of unnecessary movement because, and trust, it happens a lot. I'll give you a quick short example so that we can relate with it. Before I got into full-time consulting, I'm talking about the last organization where I was engaged in a corporate job. This was a huge facility that we were working in. My cabin was somewhere here. And everyone had printers. So every now and then people would complain that my printer has gone bad. The management was sick and tired. So they took away everyone's printer and they got a huge centralized printers placed somewhere here. So every time people were habitual of giving printout. So you give a printout, get out of your cabin and then sort of take a zigzag path in the cubicles and then hoping you did not stop and do a chit chat anyway, go to the printer, pick up the printout, come back through the various cubicles, and then practically this is the path. Now I did a way back, I did a time in motion study. How long does it take for me to go to the printer without stopping anywhere, purposefully going to pick up the printout, come back? That's a motion waste. And this was an eye-opener. Let's check this out quickly. So 3 minutes to go to the printer purposefully and 3 minutes to come back without stopping anywhere, no chit-chatting, nothing. So about 6 minutes wasted picking up a printout. In a given day, on an average, we used to give like 3 printouts per day. So average. So it's about 18 minutes wasted per day picking up a printout. Who? cares about it? Well, we never cared about it because it's a regular habit. Give a print command, go to the printer, pick up and come back. Who's counting where your time is going? Well, let's do this. 18 minutes per day. So this is per day, 18 minutes. In a month, with 22 days working, with Saturday, Sunday, we don't work. So 22 days, 396 minutes wasted at the same rate. In a year, about multiplied by 12, these many minutes wasted. Convert this into hours in a year, per year. Divide by 60, that will give you the number of hours. And like per day, how many days? Like if you convert this into the number of days. This is, if you divide A by 8-hour shift, I wasted about 9.9 days of salary just picking up a printout in 1 year. This is just one activity. There can be so many such activities I'm doing, not me. Everyone in the organization is doing it. It is a problem. We don't realize. Japanese are so particular about it, they take account of 1 second. A minute is a big number. Minute has 60 minutes. They take like 60 seconds. They are so particular that 1 second is been even evaluated. So practically, there's a lot of waste sitting in a system. Why does it happen? It happens because of poor layout of the organization. The way we have occupied areas, the department, cubicles, well, we just occupied area without realizing how my process works. How do you identify? So identification of problem. Identification is done through spaghetti diagram. Solution is done through U-shaped cellular layout. All Japanese companies are by default U-shaped layout. Let's quickly just have a quick look at this. We can't get in that far, but given the scope, but let's quickly have a look at it. What do you mean by spaghetti diagram? It is done to track motion tracking, motion waste. This is all examples of. So you have to get the layout of your organization to understand motion tracking. This is all motion track, how you move from one place to another, one place. So much of literature is all there. You will be actually using some sort of software, some sort of application to count the number of steps, some sort of pedometer, and you will track the time and how many steps have you taken from one place to another. So you move from A to B, B to C. Bottom line, what we're trying to figure out is how many times do you cross path? So because it's a bad layout, so if I have to go from, say, where is A? If I start from A, go to B, probably I go to B, B to C. If I go to D, then to E, then F, and probably if I do this, every time when I'm crossing path, this is the crossover. This is how people are moving from one department to another. The work happens. This is a work flow, how it is working out. So you count the number of steps, you count the time that you've invested, and practically that tells you how much of motion waste is happening. So there's a lot of literature on this. Just check out for spaghetti diagram. You will get to see how it's done. Practically, this will quantify the problem. So you can showcase to the management how much of time is wasted. Solution is this. Before we get to solution, this is what we are actually talking about. This is actually we are trying to talk about. This is how our process is designed, like the way we have occupied area. Department A goes to B, number 3, then it goes to 4, then it goes to 5, 5 to 6. This is U-shaped layout. Restructuring your process design to make sure there is no crossover. This practically it's not been planned properly. All Japanese companies are by default U-shaped layout. All Japanese companies, whether it's a manufacturing industry, it's a service industry, doesn't matter. All are based on U-shaped layouts. There's less movement happening. And let's see all process. It says this is first activity, then the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one. That's how it should be lined up. All activities, all process maps. Basically, what we're trying to do is this. If I can show you this, it's a pretty small image, but I could figure this out. This is, if I have this guy has to connect with this guy has to connect with this guy has to get out from the system, talk to this person, come back, a lot of movement. What we do is we convert this into a U-shaped layout. This is all U-shaped layouts will sort of redefine and restructure your existing process. This is what we are talking about. Converting this into U-shape, less movement, more interaction. Rather this guy walking up to this person, now this guy coming back. So one time you'll have to go there, come back. That's a motion waste. Here, this less. So all Japanese companies, whether it's a manufacturing or a unit, or for that matter, a service industry, all are by default structured to be working in a U-shaped layout. Design problem is what we're dealing with. So converting a layout which is existing, like this is your old layout, and improvement is a U-shape. So you have to convert your design of your layout. It's only going to happen because a traditional layout is causing the way we have designed a process, the layout is not right. So solution. So first of all, you have to quantify the time, the time wasted, the number of steps taken. Bottom line, to showcase to the management that this is not right. Let me give a very, very quick example just to make sure we understand. This is one process where we have, say, this is the area where probably our quality team, HR team, and all the finance marketing team sits. This is where we have a store. This is where we have a production team. This is where we have a quality team. This is where we have a final packaged item. So this is packaging team. This is where we have the logistics team, which will dispatch. So store will supply the raw material to production. Production will complete the production, send it to quality for audit. Quality will send it to packaging. Packaging will finally pack and then send it to logistics team to dispatch it. The same structure could have been rewritten like this. It's just about understanding your process flow rather than occupying areas that store. What comes next? The production. So the production department should be here. So that's your production department. After production, it's quality. So quality is here. Then it's packaging. Then packaging is here. Then the logistics. Logistics is here. Practically, they supply the raw material, goes to production, goes to quality testing, goes to packaging, and then logistics. So you sort of restructure the area where you're working on. It's just about observing, understanding, and realizing that there is a problem is half problem done. So technically, knowing, measuring the problem, realizing that there is a problem, half battle won. Half battle, remaining battle is all about restructuring it. But practically, that's for motion waste. And this is big waste because everyone in the organization does this waste. Everyone. So the big waste that we deal with is motion waste, which is all about people. Waiting is self-explanatory. Why? Because waiting is just about killing time. But basically, my lean part is all about reducing the time. Waiting will increase the time. Well, technically, it's a violation of lean. Big question is, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Practically, are you waiting for approval? Waiting for instructions? Waiting for raw material? Waiting for probably say the resources to come and help you out? Or probably there's a work in progress inventory which is still getting worked out, and we have a lot of work piled up. This work in progress inventory. Bottom line, if my step number A completed, and B did not start, why? B completed, C did not start, why? I got to understand. I will have to, and this will include your downtime and all those things, because your machine has regular maintenance. That is also, the process steps are waiting because your work is still going on. It's waiting for something to happen. Practically, all I have to find out is where my process stops, and I have to go and figure this out. So you have to go to your process step and find out where is the waiting waste in the process. Over processing is when we do not understand the customer requirements clearly. We end up over processing it. The same request. So, for example, my boss asked me to share data. Well, since I know Six Sigma, I did analysis, graph, charts, and everything, and I shared it with my boss. Well, did he ask for that? No. I should have simply given data. Bottom line, when you do not understand requirement, you end up doing overwork. Overwork is over processing. Now, there's a big question which generally arises, but how different is overproduction? Because here also you're doing extra. When you produce, when you produce more than what is demanded by the customer, it's an overproduction. Bottom line, they're more like, say, look same. Here also you're doing extra, more than what is customers asked for. Here also you're doing more than what is customers asked for. What is the difference? In overprocessing, you are still working on the same item. You're not making new item. You're over processing it, you're making it better, beautiful. Like probably I asked for a report and you sort of still working on making it more jazzy stuff. Practically that's extra polished, over, like you gold plating it. Overproduction is when you create new items. I asked for 100 items, you made 150. That's overproduction. But is that again going to cause waste? Yes. Say, I have done overproduction of more items. Now this item is sitting in my warehouse because customer never wanted. Customer wanted 100 items. I made 150. 100 items were sold. 50 items is still waiting in my production house, is my warehouse. Now that's waiting for a demand to come in so I can sell this and make money. Till the time my money is stuck up. So this is finished goods, which is ready to be sold, but waiting for demand. Practically, is your money stuck up? Yes, probably the raw material cost was 10,000. Now my money is stickler, which is 50,000, because this is already invested. I've invested my resource, my time, everything. So actual cost of this finished good sitting in my warehouse is 50,000. Do you have extra cost? Yes, that cost is not going to go away. Hidden cost is still going to be there. Carrying cost, holding cost, all the shelf life, there's an inventory expiry date, everything is there. Bottom line, you should not be doing it. Like Toyota is the last company who will ever worry about this. Why? Because, well, you don't get extra material to make extra products. Simple as that. So they don't get extra inventory, so they would do overproduction. Defects and rework, well, self-explanatory back again, because when you have a defect, let's take two scenarios, both scenarios. Either you have completely damaged product or you're partially damaged. Two things can happen. Either you're completely bad or completely like partially damaged. If it's completely bad, then you have to replace it with a new item. In partially damaged, you'll repair it to fix it. Basically, both the conditions, you will be working twice, but without getting paid. You'll be working extra, but you will not be getting paid for that. You might be not working twice. You may be working twice, thrice, or probably or more. If you have to do multiple rework, but you don't get paid for extra rework because you did not do the things correctly in the first go. You have to rework, fix it until the time it gets better. You have to continue doing it. And the extra work that you're doing, it's utilizing my resources, time, and money, and I'll not get paid for that. That's bad. And that's increasing my time because the customer is still waiting. The process has not completed because you had a defect in the process. So it is again a rework which will sort of create and lengthen the time, which is violation of lean. Skills part, well, skill is the 8th waste added in this list. Earlier, the old version only had 7 wastes in the system. We have 8, which is skills. Now, skills is when you do micro management. Well, you don't utilize resources, so unutilized resources. A work which can be done by 2 people is done by 5 people. Is it? Are you utilizing your resources completely? No, that talent and skill is wasted. Micromanagement. Let's talk about this one. This is a corporate curse. Like hypothetically, I need somebody for my Six Sigma project, some Six Sigma green belt or black belt. So I tell my HR team that, you know, I need somebody for my project, and this person should be at least a Six Sigma like certified one, should have done at least simulation project. So this person has understanding how project needs to be done, should have demonstrated that. So that's my requirement. It'll be great if this person has knowledge of project management. It'll be good to have this person if this guy has also extra knowledge of ISO standards. And what if this person knows automation stuff? Will be great. Well, I had every possible expectation in the world, and fortunately my HR team was fortunate to get one person who had all those required skills. Great job. You found a brilliant talent. Now what I do after that is the problem. I hire this person, the great talent, and then I tell this person what to do. Don't use your brain, do what I say. Well, if you really needed a clerk, you should have hired a clerk. You're wasting that talent. And unfortunately, this is a big problem because a lot of people have a problem of being control freak. Some bit of management is required, but extra management will always suffocate your people. It's bad. You will never gain the trust of your as a leader. It's very important that your team trusts you, and that you have to showcase first. You have to invest in your people by giving them ample chances, opportunities. You have to show the trust. When you don't do it, you lose the trust. Technically, they will find a better boss someday, but you would be the biggest loser because you lost such like a great talent. It will always hurt you. But they are not in the losing end. Yes, you definitely wasted some months and years of those people because they were unfortunate to get a bad boss like you. But unfortunately, they will somehow find somebody better. But you will always be, it's a mindset and it's a self-realization which is required by the person that am I doing over like micromanagement? It's bad. You suffocate your people. It's bad. So it's a self-realization part which one has to understand. Do a self-check to understand, am I doing too much of it? It's absolutely bad. It can't be figured out. It's you who has to realize it. But see, if my team does well, I don't have to blabber about my success, how good manager I am, a project manager or a boss I am. No, if my team does well, they get the credit. By default, it tells me that I am a better manager. I'm able to utilize my team and they are doing great. So you don't have to take the credit that I did it. It's your people. Bottom line, you don't have to explain. You are technically by default best. So it's important to ensure that you shouldn't be a credit hungry person. You should give people, and that's the true hallmark. Bottom line, if I poke my nose in your job, I am doing yours. Who's doing mine? It's very important to realize that. So these wastes are always there in the system, always. All you have to do is understand that this entire process of 8 wastes in the system is always going to be there, always going to be there. All we need is to ensure that we go to the process at every process step and figure out any of these 8 wastes happening, yes or no. Any of this 8 waste happening, yes or no. Every process step you have to figure out, is this a waste or not? Is this waste happening or not? So bottom line, all we have to do is tag the activities which can be qualified as waste. Is there a transportation happening? Yes or no. Is there excess inventory lying here? Yes or no. Are the people moving here and there to do the job? Yes or no. Every process step you have to figure out whether these wastes are happening. Bottom line, find it. When you find it, you eliminate the waste with a due course of time. So it will be out of scope, but let me quickly show you how you do it. And in real world scenario, when you sort of go into more details, this is how you figure out. This is process. So you figure out the waste in the system. You mark it that where is too much of waste issues. You figure out there could be multiple waste. You might find 20 different problems. You cannot solve world's hunger in one day. This is called value stream mapping, which you obviously end up doing in a more like a green belt or black belt. Technically, you identify, you tag areas where you have found the waste. You might have found 20, but you can't solve 20 in one go. So you might do phase 1 implementation, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. So in first level, you might figure out like top 3 problems. Let's solve it. So you start with the lean journey. So you always need to find out the waste in the system. Let's take a very simple example. An invoice gets paid only if 6 people in the chain approve it. And the first one is the accountant who receives probably the invoice. And the final one is the CEO. What waste have conducted? What waste? One waste can fall into multiple categories. There's 6 people involved in approval of an invoice. What waste have I conducted here? Like in this process? Too many approvals, what would you call that as a waste? Which waste does it fall into? Waiting, yes, your process step is waiting. You're making your process wait. What else? Waiting, it will fall into waiting waste, definitely agree. Waiting. Too many people, so too much people, motion waste, it's not, yeah, I will say motion waste, but it's about people, over processing, yes. I'll agree with that over processing part. One more waste, one more. Time is not there, like practically everything is eating up time. The last one actually is skills. So practically when you don't have to trust these people in between, then why are you having so many people? When CEO has to sit down and approve a $50 invoice, then practically God save that company. then you don't trust these people in between. Why you have so many people? So you're wasting their talent and resources which have been allocated. So one waste can fall into any cat or multiple categories. All I need to know, at least there's some waste happening, and so I can prioritize. Doesn't matter, like you can have one waste fall into multiple categories. But all in all, this is about lean part from a yellow belt perspective. Is it okay and clear with everyone? Before we switch to Six Sigma. So journey of lean is over, but technically it's just a stepping stone. It's just the beginning of lean part to understand it better. But all right, so now let's switch to Six Sigma. So Six Sigma, it's a different ball game altogether. So let's get the definition here. It's a statistical approach to reduce variation. When I say variation, I'll write down defect here. In the process to increase effectiveness. Now, that's the one more difference here. Now, lean works on improving efficiency. If you go back here, lean works on improving efficiency in terms of all these stuff, cost, time, effort, resources. When you talk about Six Sigma works on improving the effectiveness. So difference between lean and Six Sigma. What is effectiveness? Let's get the fancy term out of the equation. Effectiveness is nothing other than your quality percentage. Fancy stuff, honestly. So in simple terms, Six Sigma improves your quality. Simple. How do you improve the quality? It says reduce the variation. We'll understand what's variation, but it says it's a defect. So we'll understand how it's a defect. But in a simple term, if you reduce the defect, your quality improves. No rocket science. Obviously, when defect goes down, your quality improves. Big question is how? Statistical approach, data-driven approach. That's the philosophy of Six Sigma. Everyone globally, nowadays we talk about, we generally say data is the new oil. People are running after it. People were like, the core logic was all about oil. Now the logic has shifted. The focus has shifted from oil to data. People have realized that in future, people will have control over data, will understand data, will rule the world. That's how it's trending. So you talk about artificial intelligence, you talk about machine learning, you talk about big data, all those things, whatever you talk about, practically it's all talking about data, and Six Sigma speaks the same language. It's data-driven approach. We'll come to that part. When do you apply Six Sigma? Let's understand that, and then pretty much we will be able to break this down, this statement. First of all, let's get a small, like a scenario created. One of my client asked me to manufacture, say, a whiteboard marker. Whiteboard marker, which should have a length of 5.5 inches. That's a target given to me by the client, that all markers that you give me must be 5.5, not 5.4, not 5.6. 5.5 means 5.5. Okay, perfect. So I gave the instruction to my team that we have got a demand. You have to manufacture this marker, and please manufacture this marker with a length of 5.5. This is pretty, the client is very, very rigid about it and needs only 5.5. So when I look at, let me just make some 5.5. It's looking too bad. Okay, let me recreate some more. Okay, let's kind of keep it here. Is this 5.5? No, that's a variation from 5.5. It's less than 5.5. That's a defect. Yes, that's a defect in the eyes of customer. This is again variation on the lesser side. Variation on the lesser side. These are all less than 5.5. They are all variations from 5.5. That's a defect. This is less. This is less than 5.5. It's a variation. It's higher than 5.5. Again, a variation. It's a defect. This is less. This is higher than 5.5. Variation. Higher than 5.5. This is higher than 5.5. Higher than 5.5. Lower than 5.5. Lower. Whether it's lower or higher, it's a variation. What did the client ask? 5.5. That's it. If it's more than 5.5 or less than 5.5, anything plus minus is a variation, and customer treats that as a defect. So variation is all what you see here is a defect. So in the eyes of customer, this all are defects. So technically, when you're talking about variation, it's a defect that we're talking about. When do I use Six Sigma is more important to understand before we get more detail. Now, as a result of this, it was a bad process. So I tell my team that, well, we can't work like this. This is bad. Well, we'll lose this client. We will make the customer unhappy. So I asked my team to sit down, brainstorm, use all their experience, knowledge, education, everything that they have, and like they have learned all these years. Use all of that, but let's solve this problem. Fortunately, my team has a lot of experts. They sit down, they brainstorm, and they figure out potential reasons. They do their bit of work, and then we are able to solve this problem. But after 1 month, the problem resurfaces again. Well, we don't understand why. So we again get together, again brainstorm, again figure out some solution, again implement that solution, the problem settles. But after 15-20 days, the problem resurfaces again. And we continue doing this for 2-3 months. Well, I don't know after 2-3 months, by then we have exhausted every possible thing that we could have tried. We have tried everything in the book, everything that our experience teaches us. And I don't know why. This problem keeps coming back. It's a chronic problem. And I'm not able to fix it because I don't know why it's happening. It's exactly like you go to a doctor and you tell that doctor that, yes, I've got fever. This doctor gives you medicine for fever. It's just the symptom that you're treating, symptom, which is temperature. So I can give you medicine that will bring down your temperature, but the fever will come back again. I gave you again a medicine of fever. It will bring down your temperature, but again, the temperature will come back again because the fever is because of an infection. You're not treating infection. You are just treating the symptom, which is temperature. If you keep treating the temperature, the problem will not go away because the problem is the infection, not the temperature. Temperature is a byproduct. Temperature is just a symptom, an outcome which you see. But the real problem is the infection. And yes, you can't give any medicine because you got to understand what is causing that infection. And an infection will be of different types. You can have a bacterial infection. If you have bacterial infection, you give antibiotic. You have viral infection, you give antiviral. You have fungal infection, you give antifungal. You have to understand which type of infection. And that's what, unless and until I get to know what is the root cause, I can't figure it out what solution. If I don't know what's the problem, what medicine will I give you? Nothing. And that's what is required in Six Sigma. When do you use Six Sigma? When? And the answer lies here itself. Practically, we must have tried, tested, and failed. We must have exhausted all possible resources. The problem keeps recurring. That's when you know it's a time to go for Six Sigma. We have reached a standstill. I have no means to solve it because, well, we had tried everything what we knew. What else can be done? Nothing. I have no idea. Practically, you will be experiencing problems. You will be experiencing problem, but can't tell why. You have no idea. I am experiencing the problem. This problem keeps coming back. So I'm experiencing the problem, but I can't tell you why. Because I've tried everything. I don't know what to do with it. I've used all my resources. Technically, this is solved. So the problem, the root cause which may be causing this problem is not superficial. You can't see it. It's beyond vision. You need more advanced techniques to get to the bottom of it. You need more in-depth, more advanced methods. What is actually causing the problem? So yes, we'll be applying Six Sigma in this case. When you've tried, tested, and failed, everything has been explored. This is the things that we don't see. We feel, we experience, but I can't tell you why. So I'm experiencing it, I'm facing the challenge, but I don't have a reason, I don't have like a way out. So Lean is only about observation. What you see is what you fix in Lean. Visual issues, visible issues. When everything has failed, your visual issues, your Lean things would have failed, everything would have failed. That means the problem that I'm trying to solve has the roots of the problem somewhere deep down, and it's not visible. Since it's not visible, I don't know what to do. I will go with advanced methods and I will apply Six Sigma. So it's everything would have failed, including Lean. Then you go with Six Sigma. It's a last choice, not your first choice. Sigma is a breakthrough method. It will change the course of action. Well, if you want to become a market leader, yes, that's what you need. Six Sigma will change the course of action completely. But yes, it's never your first choice. You always do whatever you've been doing all this while. Your experience, that has no substitute. Your education, that has no substitute. Your experience, that has no substitute. That's the best thing that you have, honestly. But apart from that, yes, when you've tried, tested, and failed everything, then you go with Six Sigma. For not for every small thing you can start using Six Sigma. Six Sigma is an advanced tool. It has to be used only in weird situation. In worst case situation, you end up using Six Sigma. Not every time. Now, on that note, a quick one, just would like to know, anyone knows what is quality percentage of the process if process is working at Six Sigma? If I say my process is working at Six Sigma, what is the quality percentage? Anyone has an idea? Tentative idea. Quality percentage. If I say my process is working at Six Sigma level, what is the quality percentage of the process at Six Sigma level? Tentative idea, anyone? 99.99966%. Please remember this, please memorize this, because during job interviews, people do ask this question because it's specific to Six Sigma. Six Sigma is also measured in defect rate. And that is a common version which you generally see. Six Sigma will be represented not in quality, but in defect rate. It's referred as 3.4 DPMO. What do you mean by 3.4 DPMO? 3.4 defects per million opportunity. Let's understand what do you mean by that. It says that if I'm manufacturing these markers, if I manufacture 1 million marker, the maximum probability of having a defect is just 3.4. In 1 million, only 3.4. That's phenomenal. It's like a zero defect. What is 3.4 in 1 million? It's nothing. It's almost like a zero defect. It's very important to understand how good is Six Sigma. Just a quick question for everyone. Is 99% quality a good quality? Generally, is 99% a good quality by general standards? Do we consider it 99 as a good quality in general? Yes, it does. Well, generally we talk about 99% as a good quality. Let's see how good is 99% quality. So at 99% quality, if we talk about it, what is my quality percentage? If my process has 99% quality, my pass percentage and fail percentage. This is what it means. Like if I manufacture like 100 markers, 99 markers will be good and 1 marker would be bad. That's what 99% quality means. If I manufacture this marker, that's what I have as my 99% quality. If I make 1 defective marker out of 100, how many defective markers will I make in 1 million, which is 6 zeros, 4, 5, 6. If I make 1 defective marker out of 100 as per 99% quality, then how many markers will I make defective in 1 million? Again, 99% quality. How many defective markers will I make? If I make 1 error out of 100, how many will be there? Sanjay says 10,000. Anyone has any other perspective? How many defective markers are we talking about? 1 out of 100, then how many out of million? We got 1 response as 10,000. Anyone has any other perspective? Direct proportion? 10,000, you're right. You're 100% right. So 1 out of 100 is same as 10,000 out of million. So do this 10,000. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4 zeros. 10,000 divided by 1 million is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Cancel the 4 zeros. Cancel the 4 zeros. It's 1 out of 100. Same. 1 out of 100 and is same as 10,000 out of 1 million. So you write about it, you have 10,000 errors out of 1 million. So if my process quality is at 99%, I will make 10,000 defective markers out of 1 million. What are we talking about? Six Sigma. 3.4 out of 1 million. This is what we talk about. Change in the mindset. It was once upon a time, I would say once upon a time, yes, you would be a market leader, you could be industry leader at 99% quality. Not any longer. Will soon be history if you're working at 99% quality. Customers have become so intolerant about defect. You would have a defect in the process, they'll switch over. Well, just think about probably what 10, 15 years ago, you wanted a business phone. Which phone you had a business phone? Like you only had BlackBerry. That's what we could have used. Probably you wanted a phone, like a normal phone, not a business phone. Probably you would end up using Nokia. Everyone would have used it at one point in time. You wanted a camera, you will take Kodak. There are few options left. But now today, customer has so many choices. Customer will not tolerate defect. Gone are those days. It was customer who was bearing those issues, but because they had no choices. Today, customer has become intolerant because customer has plenty of choices. You all are options. We all, either manufacturer or a service provider, we are all options for the customer. Customer will not tolerate defects. So the concept is all together switching from defects to a zero defect logic, and that's what it can get to. This is almost like a zero defect. This zero defect is just not possible. It's a myth that we can go and talk about, like zero. That means minimum possible defect. It's technically talk about zero defect. This is almost like a zero defect. And that's why it's not a choice. It's a need of the hour that organizations, cultures, like globally, all corporates are shifting towards Six Sigma concept because it is not a choice. If you have to sustain in this market, you have to just remove your defects because customer will not give you a second chance. It's not a choice now any longer. Now, if we understand this Six Sigma for now, let's understand what are these Sigma levels. What is this Sigma level? When we say Six Sigma, what do you mean by the Sigma level? It's a weird definition. It's a defect measuring scale. It doesn't tell you how good you're doing. It tells you how bad you're doing. Well, isn't it? Right now, it's measuring the defect rate. 3.4 defects in 1 million. It is measuring your defects. So when I'm using any Sigma level, it's measuring my defect rate. It doesn't tell you how good it is. It tells you how bad it is. Well, it's a scale. It's a scale of measurement of defect. When you want to measure defects, you measure it on a Sigma level scale. Like 0 Sigma, yes, we have it. 1 Sigma, yes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're talking about Six Sigma. It's a scale. It'll go on and on, doesn't end, it goes on. Just a defect. It's a measuring scale. That's it. Do we have negative sigma? Absolutely, yes. We have negative sigmas also. We have -1, -2, -3. It goes on and on. It's a defect measuring scale. It just measures your defect rate. That's it. Now, when we say my process, and we're just coming to it, my process is working at 6 Sigma level. We're talking about one of the number on this scale. That's it. We're just talking about one of this number, which is 6 Sigma. If your process is making 3.4 defects in 1 million, you say, well, my process is 6 Sigma level process, one of the number on this scale. If your process has this defect rate, you will be working at 6 Sigma. This is standard for everyone. Everyone globally wants to get to a level of 6 Sigma to become a market leader, industry leader. But a quick question, if in case you heard about it, is it possible to get better than 6 Sigma, or any company or any industry which is working at a higher than 6 Sigma, or it is the best you can get? Have you heard about anything better than 6 Sigma ever? Is it possible to get higher than 6 Sigma? There are industries working at a higher than 6 Sigma. 6 Sigma is not the best Sigma level. Aviation at 12 Sigma. NASA, the space programs, 12 Sigma. You talk about nuclear reactors. We talk about semiconductors. That's somewhere here between 11 and 12. Semiconductors. We talk about pharmaceutical industry working at. Bottom line, let's understand the reason why. First of all, let's take a simple situation. We talk about aviation. I'm talking about aviation, the air traffic control, not the airport baggage control. Airports are horrible. Baggage control is barely 3.5 Sigma. It's bad, really bad. But when you talk about aviation, I'm just talking about the air traffic control. When the aeroplanes fly in air, they don't collide with each other. That's why. Why? Because just think about the situation. Would you be comfortable boarding a flight if I tell you that out of 1 million flights that will take off, 3.4 will crash? Would you be happy? Would you be comfortable? Anyone would be comfortable if you know out of 1 million flights? Absolutely not. This is a critical area. One error is a big crime. You just cannot afford to make a mistake. It is absolutely not acceptable. So 6 Sigma is a horrible Sigma level for them. For aviation, it's very, very bad Sigma level. They would hate to be at 6 Sigma level. Nobody would be boarding a flight if you know this is the error rate. Bottom line, these are critical industries. Why there's so much of you and try about COVID vaccine? Why can't you just make a vaccine and give it to everyone? No. One wrong vaccine and so many people can die, and this will have irreparable damage, never can be fixed. There's so much of lives at stake, so much of money at stake. These are critical industries. For all these, it's absolutely not possible to work with 6 Sigma levels. It's bad for them. It's bad. Bottom line, these are critical industries. Every single error is a big crime. You cannot afford errors in these industries. Simple as that. What we mean here, the reason why we're having this conversation, higher Sigma levels have lesser defects. So simple logic means higher the Sigma level, better it is. So always we prefer a higher Sigma level. Now, another question should automatically come. Well, I understand these are critical industries and there is a higher Sigma level. And obviously that means there's a less defect, almost zero defect here, because it's much better than 6 Sigma. But one thing, then why are we talking about 6 Sigma as a standard? Why don't we study 12 Sigma, 11 Sigma? Well, the reason why, up to a level of 6 Sigma, you can improve your process with basic project management, quality management, statistical tools, basically stuff. You can go and improve it up to a level of 6 Sigma. It becomes almost impossible, almost, I would not say 100%, almost impossible to eliminate any further errors due to, like, basically any further human errors beyond it. Human errors are bound to happen. You cannot become like a human robot. You just can't be that. So it's absolutely not possible generally, because you have already improved it to a great extent to a 6 Sigma level. Beyond this, it's very, very, very difficult to reduce any human error. Errors will still happen. At least 3.4 in 1 million will definitely happen. So if it's a critical industry, generally you need automation beyond 6 Sigma. So if your industry needs 6 automation, well, definitely go for it. Because if your industry is like the error is a very critical one, then you will have no choice. You have to invest millions of dollars to automate your process, because you cannot afford any error. But up to a level of 6 Sigma, yes, you can get with your regular process. You can up to improve your process up to 6 Sigma. Beyond that, you generally need automation. But would everyone need would like to go beyond 6 Sigma? No. Most of the companies would not even like to, most of the companies would never want to go beyond 6 Sigma. Let's understand why. Do you think this marker making company, if it gets to a 6 Sigma level, would it be interested to do an automation to save the cost of 3.4 defective marker out of 1 million? They're just making 3.4 defective marker. To save that, they need to do automation, which will require millions of dollars. Do you think this company would invest millions of dollars to save 3.4 defective markers? Is it making sense? Any business sense?
No.
Absolutely not. Business sense does not allow you. Well, it doesn't matter. What's the cost of those 3.4 marker? Nothing. But the cost of implementation is huge. That in the automation, it doesn't make business sense. So most of the companies will not like to switch beyond 6 Sigma, because it will require huge investment and the return is just nothing. But these industries, yes, every single error is a big, big crime. Bottom line, they don't have a choice, and it's need of the business. Nature of the business demands them to go for automation. But up to level 6 Sigma, yes, you can get it there by default. So just a quick, some additional figures, just to give you an idea. If your process has 50% defect rate, you will be operating at 0 Sigma level, 50% defect rate. Now what it brings us to that, if your defects increases, Sigma level drops. It's inversely proportional. Defect low, Sigma high. Defect high, Sigma low. It drops. So if defects are more than 50%, sigma level will be negative. Good to know information. Bottom line, I will be giving you a formula right now how to calculate sigma level. So you'll know how to calculate sigma level for anything right now. We'll be doing that activity. So you don't have to mug up these values. We can calculate it immediately. But good to know information. 50% defect rate will give you 0. If it's more than 50%, your sigma level will go into negative. Bottom line, as you keep going, the defect reduces, sigma level improves, keeps improving till you can kind of continue working on improvement. Bottom line, big question is, how do you calculate sigma level? There's so many multiple ways. One is a manual method, which we can't do given the time, because that needs knowledge of statistics, which we cover during the green belt and black belt portion. So, and there's a minute ways calculation. There's multiple ways the sigma level gets calculated, but one easy method I can talk about. But again, explanation we can't get into, because that explanation will itself take 2 to 3 hours. But let me tell you quick, the method will not change. Defect rate. Somebody gives me defect rate and wants me to calculate sigma level for that defect rate. If my process has so and so defect, what is my sigma level? There are two types of sigma. One is called Z for sigma and LT for long term. There's a long term sigma level. So one sigma is long term, another sigma is called Z for sigma, ST for short term sigma level. What is difference between long term and short term? Sorry, as of now, because as I said, this will take a lot of time. You have to have understanding of statistics before we get into there. So but technically we'll at least get the basic understanding right and calculate also. This is the calculated sigma level. This is the actual, I will say actual sigma level. This is used for communication reporting. So when your reports are generated, people talk about sigma level. Any communication that happens, it happens only on short-term sigma level. We also call it as current sigma level or short-term sigma level. This is always used. So nobody will publish a report, like all reporting, everything will be done in the communication sigma level. All communication will happen in short-term sigma level. This is not, this is the actual one, but this is reported. Let's see how it's calculated. The formula is pretty simple. I'll leave it like this. Norm sin V, it's inverse, like inverse of normal distribution. 1 minus defect divided by total. That's inbuilt in every Excel. When you calculate your long-term sigma, you add 1.5, a fixed value of 1.5. Now, again, a question, why 1.5? This is again, that itself needs about 30 minutes discussion, but that's the formula. Let's use the formula. Let's take some hypothetical number, some different values to understand sigma levels. Somebody gives me a vague number, say 31% defect rate. What is my sigma level? Okay, let's do the maths. Norm sin V, I'm using the same formula. 1 minus 31% is 31 out of 100. That's my long-term sigma. What do? I add 1.5 to this. And I'll say when my process had 31% defect rate, my sigma level is 1.995, whatever this is. Let's say I want to find out my sigma level for office reporting timing. When last 30 days, I was late, 2 days late out of 30 days. So out of 30 days, my attendance, I was 2 days late in reporting to office. What is my sigma level for my attendance? Norm sin V, 1 minus 2 divided by 30, effect divided by total. That's your long term. What you end up reporting, that my office reporting time sigma level is 3 sigma. Let's pick up, oh, well, why leave 6 sigma? That's also defect rate, right? Let's validate how this is 6 sigma, 3.4 defects in 1 million. Norm sin V, y minus 3.4 defects out of 1 million. So 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 4 zeros, 5 zeros, 6 zeros. And plus 1.5. That's 6 sigma. Always used for reporting and communication. 6 sigma. 3.4 defects is 6 sigma. We always use this one, not this one. Let's take one negative version. 75% defect rate, just to show you negative part. Norm sin V, 1 minus 75 out of 100. That will be negative. Look at this negative sigma, but will end up reporting as 0.8 as sigma level. Let's pick up one random number. So if I did some audit, and during my audit I found 117 errors out of, say, any random number, say these many parts I audited. What is my sigma level for this one? Let's find it out. Any random number doesn't matter. Norm sin V 1 minus, what was this, 117 out of 45654. Close the bracket. That's your sigma level 4.3. Simple stuff. Bottom line, yes, there's explanation which is there. It's out of scope from a yellow belt, because the entire duration will get covered in that discussion. But even to understand, like, say, basically there are a lot of things to be understood here. Long term, what is long term, what is short term, but practically remember, this is all will be used in reports and communication. Whenever we talk about this. What is the meaning of this norm sin V, how it's derived, 1.5, all those things. But yeah, it's sort of out of, like, from yellow belt perspective, that will be out of scope. But see, only thing which is the explanation, but the answers will still remain the same. This is how you calculate this thing. So the answers will not change. Only thing which is the explanation, which I'm sure we understand it's not something which we can do right now, because that statistics portion is not done yet. So that's pretty much on the foundation of sigma level. Now, is that okay and clear with everyone? Basically, just wanted to understand the difference between lean and Six Sigma. Is it okay with everyone? General understanding. What is Six Sigma? It's all number driven. This is calculations. That was observation based. This is data based, all data. So this is very, very different from what your lean was. Lean is very different from Six Sigma. Now, why we use Lean Six Sigma together? Because people were experts of Lean, or people were either experts of Six Sigma. People who were implementing Lean, they got stuck because there were issues which they were trying to solve, but they were not getting solved. The problem reoccurred. Most of the cases, Lean will work. Obvious visual issues, yes, they were able to apply Lean logic and they were able to fix the problem. Visual issues, yes, visible issues, they were able to fix with Lean logic, stabilize the process, streamline the process. But they realized that Lean can only do this much, because we will come across problems where we can't solve it, because we can't figure out. We have tried everything. Lean has been implemented, every logic has been applied, nothing is working out. So they realized that Lean has limitation. Same happened with Six Sigma people. When you implement Six Sigma, you need a stable process, you need a stabilized process, you need a lot of process to be like streamlined. And for Six Sigma, you have to wait for certain things. A lot of data collection will happen, analysis will happen. Your results will come a little late for you to, when you kind of go ahead and apply that Six Sigma part of it. It will take some time. So people realize that if I'm a Six Sigma professional, if I have knowledge of Lean, I can implement Lean, let Lean start giving me result, and by the time Six Sigma will pick up. So practically, people started using them together at the same time. Both are implemented, Lean and Six Sigma, and the results were amazing. So when you use them together, they complement each other. So Six Sigma will benefit Lean and Lean will benefit Six Sigma. Bottom line, they always complement each other. So they never conflict, they always benefit. So that's basically why Lean and Six Sigma were brought together. Now, quick one, we should understand when we implement Lean, yeah, you will get a copy. Yeah. Now, when we talk about frameworks, it's important to understand how Six Sigma is implemented. Framework of Six Sigma. So whenever Six Sigma is implemented, how it is done, it's important to check this out. So we'll talk about Six Sigma about like 5 different phases. DMAIC, DMAIC. DMAIC phase, what do you do in DMAIC phase? D stands for define.
Define.
Measure. A for
Analyze. Improve.
And
Control.
Perfect. Define phase, what do we do? Here we select the right project. Well, as a business, there's so many challenges in your organization. Can you solve every challenge with every problem with your one project? No. You cannot solve world's hunger in one day. So you have to select a right project. You have limited resources, limited budget, limited time, and you have to select the most important one. So in the first part, when you talk about define phase, it's 100% project management. If you're PMP professionals, if you've already done some PMP training, you know technically the define phase already. So this is all about project management. So we learned project management in the first part. It's a copy and paste of your PMP syllabus. Coming to the measure phase, when you decided the project, okay, we have decided this is the problem we will solve. It is a quality or it's a sales, it's about revenue, whatever the problem is. Doesn't matter. Now you collect reliable data for analysis. So Six Sigma is all about data analysis. So if data is not reliable, then your analysis will be wrong and you'll go in a wrong direction. So it's very important to have reliability checked. Can I trust the data? That's where quality management tools will come into picture and statistics will start. So that's where both these things will apply together. Analyze phase, well, that's where you use advanced statistical tools. So statistical tests are performed to find the root causes, the real root cause, which is not visible, the thing which is not visible, we are not able to figure out. You will apply the advanced techniques to figure out what is actually causing the problem. You'll exactly know what is causing the problem. That's same quality management and statistics. Improve, every project will have a target. Management wants to get a problem solved. So you achieve the target. Again, in that portion, you'll have quality management statistics. And finally, sustain the improvement. There's no benefit of doing a project when you still get the problem back again. So doesn't happen in Six Sigma. Your problem doesn't resurface again. A traditional project will work like this: improve, 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 and then slowly, steadily, you might see problem resurfacing, and again you start experiencing problem. That doesn't happen in Six Sigma. Well, there's no fun in doing a project then. Waste of time and money. Six Sigma works this way: improve, and you control, sustain that level. That's the control phase where your process goes into extreme statistical control, your inbuilt control chart, and your process is stabilized at this level. Before you close the project, this level is now, the DNA of the process has changed. From this level, it has gone to this level. It's stabilized at this level. When project gets over, pick up a new project. Achieve the target, new target, again stabilize this level. When you stabilize this level in the control phase, control this level, sustain this level, pick up another project, sustain it, improve, control, improve, control. So always a step ladder, and it's a progressive growth. Yes, it gives you project after project, but you always improve and you never fall back. So beauty about this is the last phase, which is control phase. It's very important, the key element why we love Six Sigma project, because you get something that you're never going to lose it. Simple as that. That's how it works. Now, whenever we talk about this with implementation of Six Sigma, technically in a real world, you have a real world problem which you want to solve. In general, I'll apply my logic, my learning, my experience, and I'll implement a solution in real world, hoping it will work. And most of the cases, it does work. Yes, it's not that we are not successful. We all are successful professionals in our own respective area. So it works. Your education, your experience, it has great value add. But there are situations where we are struggling to solve it. That's where Six Sigma will have a different approach. Real world problem. It will convert this into a statistical problem. It will convert this statistical problem into a statistical solution where you know it works. And when it works, well, you implement, no hit and trial, real world solution. Now, this is when we talking about the real world solution. Let's put the phases to it. This is define phase. We experience a problem. We convert this into a statistical problem, which is measure phase. We analyze the data. We figure out the problem, the root cause. You develop a solution in the improve phase. And then when your solutions are working, you exactly know, no problem, just simply sustain that improvement in control phase and stabilize the process. That's it. The approach remains exactly how you go about stabilizing. Data part comes into the picture in between. Bottom line, it's how all Six Sigma projects are driven. Now, all in all, whenever we're dealing with Six Sigma and we're implementing this framework, you need some tools. There are two types of tools technically. No, not two, but technically project management tools will be required. It's all about PMP syllabus, project management practitioner syllabus. You use quality management tools, which is generally talk about 7 quality control tools. We can't get into the statistical. These are highly advanced ones because, but I can definitely take you through the quality management tools. They're generally referred as 7 quality tools. So there are 2 layers of analysis. 7 quality control tools, referred as 7 QC tools. So what are these 7 quality tools? They will help you in the Six Sigma project, but this is first level. And yes, the next level takes it to a next, absolutely a different process, like a level altogether. So if I look at this, all these simulation project, so The more complex, more advanced ones are beyond this. So this is first level. And when you get to this part, when we're talking about this, some bit of, is all, yeah, that's what we're talking about. These are statistical tests. This is like absolutely, it will take to a next level altogether. We exactly know what's causing the problem. You exactly know. This is all high end. So technically, we will just, as this is I would say the final level, but before that, there is an intermediary first level of testing, quality assessment, and these tools are applied throughout the project. 7 quality control tools: histogram, check sheets, flow chart, Pareto chart. It's also known as 80-20 rule. We have scatter plot. We have fishbone diagram. We have control charts. There are in total 7 quality control tools, so which are used by Six Sigma professionals during the process improvement. Now, what is this histogram? Let's quickly check this out. So, as it's okay, let me quickly talk about this one. Let me show you. Well, we can. So we share the data, as I said, for the project with people. So these are the data files that we work with, and many more. This is just an example to kind of show you. Let me show you how to deal with this data set. Histogram. I just want to show you what is a histogram. Let's say starts, graphical summary. That's Minitab output. So we primarily work on Minitab and on Excel for sure. This is histogram. This is histogram. So from the data, it has plotted a histogram. This is histogram we're looking at. It tells me where is the average of the data, center of the data. The average of data is here. It tells you how low you can go. It tells you how high you can go. So when you're looking at a histogram, it helps you to understand the shape of the data, the distribution of data. Where is the average? How much of the lows and highs your process can fluctuate? This is how you end up studying using histogram. So practically, when I'm looking at histogram, it helps me to analyze the data. The first level analysis is always driven through histogram. So it helps us understand the mean, which is average. Where is the average of data? How much of variation is expected, which is the lows and highs. How much you can fluctuate, go toward the low, go towards the high. That's the lows and high. Even sigma level calculations need histogram. Let me show it to you. At least we have this luxury to have these simulation projects completed by, well, that's what it is. Current sigma level. That's the histogram, and that's the process mean. We're having the customer expectation. We find sigma level. This is all. See, as I said, long-term sigma is there, short-term sigma is there. All that stuff. All that has been done through Minitab. Or we can do it manually also. We do it all possible ways. So histogram is used here. That's the role of histogram. Coming to check sheets. Now, check sheets, everyone has used it. Well, if you need to analyze data, you need to collect it in some format. And that's check sheet. Well, attendance sheet, yes, that's a check sheet. Your data collection sheet, it's a check sheet.
Action registry.
Absolutely. Yeah, action registry, that's what you said?
Yep. Yes.
Yes, audit sheets, all these are check sheets. Bottom line, you need to collect data in some template. That is your check sheet. Even this spreadsheet that I was looking at, this is a check sheet. You need to collect data. Well, for you to analyze, you have to store it somewhere. That will be a check sheet. So you can customize your own check sheet the way you want. If you want to check, go Google up for check sheet. You get so many types of check sheet. You customize your own check sheet. Who cares? Who stops you? You're the boss. You decide how my check sheet should look like. My check sheet is this also. Ticks. You can make ticks. You can make check boxes. You can have numbers. You customize your own. Your to-do list is also check sheet. You define your check sheet. You're the boss. Simple as that. Everything can be done. You got to decide how I want to collect data. What is comfortable for me? How I can interpret data? Whatever works best for you. For flowcharts, technically for lean implementation, you need flowcharts. Well, for finding waste in the process, we do a lot of charts. We do something called a SIPOC chart. We do a value stream mapping. We work on detailed process map. A lot of things.
Ishikawa.
Yes, no, not on the flowchart part. Ishikawa will come here. It's a flowchart, fishbone one. These are related to lean implementation flowcharts. So, and this is when I was showing you, this was the value stream map. This was a value stream map. So you understand to find the waste in the system, you apply value stream map. These are all flowcharts you work with. Talking about Pareto chart, well, pretty widely used method. It's just so Pareto chart. This is way back about some. Honestly, I don't recall the exact year, like a century. It was, I guess, 15th or 16th century. My bad if I don't realize it. Too bad at history. 15th or 15th, 16th century. This was some Italian gentleman. His name was Alfred Wilfred Pareto. He was given a task by his king to go and do a survey and come back with the details about wealth distribution. How is the wealth distributed in the entire kingdom? So when he came back, it was an eye-opener for everyone that 80% of the wealth, in that case, 80% of the wealth was controlled by 20% people. And 20% of the wealth was with 80% people. Huge inequality of income, huge inequality. And that's true till date also. So this 7 quality control tools that we're talking about, this list was prepared, the tools were not created, but the list was prepared by Ishikawa. Ishikawa was the one who collected this list, the best practices practiced and created at any point in time. He prepared this list of the best tools, and out of this 7, his own creation was one. Fishbone diagram is also called as Ishikawa diagram. So not all of them. Out of 7, his own creation was only one. So Pareto chart was picked up by Ishikawa and used for industrial purposes for the first time. This logic was applied, and he saw that 80% of the problem in the organizations generally come from 20% reason. Some problems may be recurring so many times, and they account for 80% of your problem. Let's have a quick look at Pareto chart, and we'll make it on Minitab and on Excel. Let's do that. Pareto chart. How do we do it on Excel and on Minitab? Let's figure this out. Okay, I'm using this data, which is this. Say this is some complaints we have received from the customers for last 3 months. We have compiled data. We have say complaints, 274 complaints received for missing screws, 59 complaints of missing clips, 59, like 19 issues of defective housing, so and so forth. We've got different types of complaint. We have compiled this result. Now I would like to make a Pareto chart out of it. So how do I do it? I simply go, I'll be doing both Excel and on Minitab. Let's quickly have a look at first Minitab, and then we'll do it on Excel also. Quality tools, Pareto chart. What's your defect? Put the defect. Count in frequencies. It says, do you want to combine the small ones? No, don't want to combine. Want to see everything clearly. No comment. No, don't combine. That's your Pareto chart. So leave it here. Let's make it on Minitab and Excel, and then tally this and study it. So let's go back to Excel. When I'm doing it in Excel, see, remember I just pasted data and started working on it, but in Excel you can't do that way. This is my data sheet which I'm using here. That's my data, and I would like to make a Pareto chart. I can't do it directly. Here data is up and down. And like in Minitab, it doesn't matter. Minitab is a smart software. Data may be up and down. It will take care of it on its own. But in Excel, when you're doing it, you have to sort this data in descending order. So largest to smallest. So largest complaint comes on the top, smallest at the bottom. You take the sum of these complaints. Sum of these complaints, that's 423. You calculate individual percentage, how much each complaint contribute to the total. So 274 is what percentage of the total complaint. So 274 divided by 423. And copy and paste here. So then it says, let's convert this into percentage. This is about 64.8% of the total complaints, which is 274 by 423, which is 64.8% complaints are because of missing screws. Missing clips is 59 out of 423, which is 13.9%. 43 out of 423 is 10.2%. So their individual percentage, how much they impact in the total complaint. Then we calculate cumulative percentage, which is total. This alone is contributing 64.8, top complaint. the first complaint plus the second complaint, the top two complaints contribute 78.7% complaint. If you add that, it will be 78.7. The top three complaints contribute 88.9%. You add these three, it will be 88.9. And just copy and paste till 100%. So this is cumulative. It adds up top complaint, top two complaints, top three complaints, top four complaints, top five complaints, top six, and so on and so forth. Now all I need to do is select this, select the count, select the cumulative percentage, not the individual. Go to Insert tab. In this option, I see Insert Statistic Chart. Here is Pareto chart. And look at beautification of this chart. I can do whatever I wish to do with this chart data, but let's see. Let's get to the chart part. Let's say format, sorry, design. You can pick up anything, whatever works best for you. Click on plus sign. You have your data labels, which is listed here. It's 274, 59, 43. Let's change the color. Let's get this one. Okay. 274, 59, 43, 10, 19. So it's in decreasing order. The line that you see here, this is the cumulative line. This alone is 64.8. You add this, it becomes 78 point something. Then you add this, it becomes 88. So as it around this percentage, it goes till 100%. Now let's look at Minitab output. Let's match. In a decreasing order, same thing. 274, 59, 43, same thing. What you see here. This is what you get. You have here. Then you say 64.8, 13.9, 10.2, 4.5. That's what you calculated here. Cumulative 64.8, 78.7, 88.9, same thing which you saw here. And this is what you see on the top, the same line. Now, technically, it tells me the logic operator says that if you want to solve this problem, you may run after this problem, you may not run after this problem. All the problems can be sorted out. But if you try to solve this problem or this problem or this problem, the effort will be almost same. It may be somewhat here and there, but more like efforts will be same. But the difference in your benefits will be huge. Here you will be able to solve some problems. Here you'll be able to solve a big chunk of problems. So Pareto says, please do not just run after any problem. Try to find where are the major problems coming from. Wherever the major problems are coming from, just work out those. It's no point in running after any problem. Prioritize and then sort out the problem. So Pareto chart goes with the highest frequency first. So technically, if I want to pick my top complaints, and technically, if I look at these top two complaints, these contribute 78.7% complaint. I don't have to kind of worry about all of them. Let's focus my energy on these two problems. That will, if I solve these two problems, my 78.7% complaints will be sorted. So don't run after every problem. That's the area of my focus. Practically, that's I know these two together contribute 78.7. It's more about prioritization tool, what we're looking at in case of Pareto chart. Is it okay and clear with everyone? We've talked about few till now. Is it fine? All right, perfect. So let's look at scatter plot. Now, scatter plot is used when you're trying to draw a relationship between two numerical data sets. When you want to draw a relationship, technically we have a statistical test. So we do a status. So this is a graphical plot for correlation tests, which we can't do right now, and regression, because this is advanced test, which will be part of statistics. But it's a complementary chart. When you do a correlation and regression test, you get a scatter plot. Let's see what does it mean practically when we do it. Like I want to find out, is there a relation between number of hours of study versus exam scores, speed of a car versus number of accidents, temperature versus sales of ice cream. I want to find relationship between two numerical variables, and I would like to figure that out. Let's check this out. Hypothesis. Let's check this out. Temperature and sales. I record daily temperature, daily sales, daily temperature, daily sales, and I would like to see a relationship there. Is there a relationship? I would use this regression line one with regression. Why is the business problem? I want to study sales with reference to temperature. I want to see impact of temperature on sales. So temperature on sales. X is the temperature, which is I'm saying impact on sales. If I look at this, this is scatter plot. It tells me when my temperature was low, my sales was low. As my temperature is high, my sales is high. At a higher value of temperature, I have a higher value of sales. So if X, this one factor increases at a higher, as my temperature increases, correspondingly my sales increases. So this line which is going up, it tells me that these things are positively related. If one increases, the other one will also increase. This is always a positive. This is if X increases, my Y will also increase. If X increases, Y will also increase. So the line tells you the direction of dot. If it's going up, it's a positive relationship. If your line goes down, it's a negative relationship. That if one will increase, other will decrease. Let's see one example for that. Negative correlation. Let's see the negative correlation also. That's a scatter plot. Let's say -1. Age of the car and mileage of the car. Mileage is my output, X age of the car. I want to see impact and relationship with age. That will be going down. The car was new. Practically, when I'm looking at the first instance, the car was new, mileage was high. Car got older, problem started. Car got older, problem started. Mileage keeps on reducing with the car getting older. You have a problem with the mileage and you see a negative trend. If one increases, other decreases. That's a negative correlation, negative relationship between two variables. So you use scatter plot to draw a graphical relationship between two numerical variables like this. Fishbone diagram, which was the original creation of the Ishikawa, who created this concept of like 7 quality tools. As per him, if you're facing any business problem, if you're facing any business problem, it will happen because of 6M, the sources, the root causes, because of which you may be facing a problem, will come from 6M. So to find possible causes which may be impacting the business problem, you need to explore 6M. What are the 6M? Man, machine, method, material, measurement, mother nature. That's what 6M's are. 6M's. Well, let's kind of quickly check this out. Just an example where I have a file, I can use that for making a fishbone diagram to show it to you. So let's quickly have a look at this fishbone diagram. See, a company, there's people who have been complaining that there's low productivity challenges. We are always facing some low productivity challenge. So what could be the potential reason? Because of people, why we may be facing the problem. People, like process knowledge is not there, product knowledge is not there. They have multitasking issues, lack of process skilling. Bottom line, they have a lot of all people related, absenteeism, age, all those people related issues. Machine, like your machines may be giving you problem, maybe breakdown, maintenance, and all those things. Material, maybe the quality of material, it's cheap. You're getting material from different vendors. The quality of material is not up to the standard. All material related issues we have to brainstorm. Method is the process failure. The way we do it, the process methods, maybe the method of doing it we have designed, that is what is causing the problem. Measurement is more all about estimation errors. The way we estimate, wrong resource planning, probably wrong estimation of the required resources, and even Mother Nature is all about environmental factors. The original version of Fishbone has the 6M. Now, after that, it has been changed a lot and people have customized their own. Today, you call it any which ways, doesn't matter because you can customize your own Fishbone. So this has gone through 4 Ps, 8 Ps. We have now even not even anything, you might call them different departments, like, and there are a lot of examples of Fishbone diagram. So you can call them whichever you want. You don't want to call it man machine. You name them yourself the way you want. But original version of Fishbone will have a 6M, cause and effect diagram. Man is personnel. So I'd like to Minitab has edited the label to personnel and environment as well. It doesn't matter, but still I'm changing it. Some people are finicky. I'm one of them. And so these are causes. Man, I would double click to get mapped with man. I need machines here. So machine. I need material here. I click on material. I need methods here. I double click method. I need measurement here. I double click method measurement. I need Mother Nature. That's my causes. What's my effect? Low productivity is my problem. Business problem. That's what I need for Fishbone diagram. It's a It's a structured brainstorming which will help you create your fishbone diagram. This is what your fishbone diagram looks like. Practically, it's just about finding out and exploring different possible reasons why this may be happening. So you can call this as your HR department, you can call it as an operations team, logistics, trading, you name them the way you want and create in your version of fishbone. Who's stopping you? You're the boss. So old version, standard version is 6M. Now it's already been customized. People customize as per your needs. You decide how it needs to look like. It's your fishbone, your business problem. Well, nobody else other than you should be the right person to tell you whether it's right method or wrong method. Bottom line, if you feel it's right, please go and customize. Control charts are amazing. Well, that's why control phase comes into picture. That the process gets stabilized because of control charts being there. So practically we'll be dealing with control charts. It's all about control charts. Dr. Walter Sheward introduced this control chart in 1920s. They're also called as SPC charts or statistical process control charts. These were developed in 1920s and Six Sigma people copied it, made a control phase in 1986. They were biggest copycats. They just compiled it. It was already tried, tested, successful. So people this was no creation by Six Sigma people. They sort of copied it. This is absolute copy and paste. Now let's quickly have a look at control chart. At least have an understanding what control charts are needed for. It's the best thing that could have happened in terms of statistics. Okay, let's have a quick look at the data. I'll make a small control chart just to give an idea. We can't get into explanation, but some basic information at least we will be able to see and understand what is control chart. Why is it so much required? Let me make this 46 and let's make a control chart out of it. Control chart, individual chart, IMAR chart. Select the data set, select the rules of control chart. All 8 rules, the 8 rules which govern the control chart. Okay, let's have a quick look at this. Now, when I'm looking at control chart, this says UCL, means upper control limit. This was the maximum limit we were expecting your process to go to. This is LCO, this is the lowest limit. So these are the limits of your process. These are your data points, what you see here. Now, it's quite obvious that I can see this has crossed my limit. This is an exceptionally high value that has breached my limit of process, and that's a red dot. Absolutely understandable. Out of control situation, completely agree with it. Why is this a red dot? Well, this one is understood. It's crossed the limit. Why is this a red dot? Because this is well within the limits, well within technically the center. That's why you need control charts for, because control charts will not only help you figure out of control situation, will help you figure out those situations which will lead to those out of control situation. Well, every problem, before it becomes a problem, there's always an early stage. So when you're looking at control chart, you will never be surprised about your process. If your process is becoming good or bad, you know well before it, because there's always an early stage. It gives you indicator, warning, there's something changing in your process, please check. Well, you will know it well before things have happened. If it's good, you will promote the change. If it's bad, you will fix it right then and there. It gives you warning signals well before the change has happened. So no process will become good or bad overnight. There's always a gradual process and a very, very slow change in the process, and you will always know it. So you never get surprised when you look at a control chart. It doesn't help you know when things are out of control. When life looks normal, within the limit, everything is fine. No, it's a problem in making. It's the beginning of a problem. Please get ready. Bottom line, it will keep your process in check always. So humanly, it's not possible for us to understand what's happening, every single data point, what's a trend. You will not have to worry if you're doing control chart. So these are your 7 quality control tools, and as I said, these are simple ones. But yes, right after this, it takes you to the next level when you apply the statistical test, which is practically out of scope for us as of now. But is this okay? The 7 QC tools, is it okay with everyone?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's then quickly talk about one more element. I'm not fond of history, honestly, but we need to know something. Why? Because during job interviews, recruiters do ask this question. These recruiters are not Six Sigma professionals. They would be the first liner who will be scheduling the first round of interview, and they understand this. because it's theory. So they can talk about this and they will ask you simple point blank question. You should know how things originate. Simple things should be understood, not in technical rounds. Technically, in technical rounds, you'll be asked about statistical stuff and more. First round, you have to pass to get to the technical. So you should know this. The first evidence of lean getting implemented was with Ford Motors. Lean got implemented, and the word lean came from Toyota. Toyota is the one who gave the word lean to the world. But evidence is that industrial purposes, lean got implemented, and evidence is available with Ford Motors. The word lean came later. Ford did something which is lean. Lean is all about speed of the process. Let's understand what. Ford Motors was headed by Henry Ford. Henry Ford was the CEO of Ford Motors, and this gentleman, like globally, the cars were manufactured through one method, which was called craft manufacturing. Craft manufacturing, what used to happen, that cars were stationary and people used to move from one car to another to build it at one place. So this is pretty much one car here, another car here, another car here. The car is stationary, fixed. Somebody is fitting in bulb with moving with all the bulbs to one car, fit the bulbs, go to the next car, fit the bulbs, go to the next car, fit the bulbs. Somebody who's fitting in tire is moving with all the tires, come to this car, fit the tires, drag remaining tires. It was a very, very slow process, craft manufacturing. So it was very slow process. The production capacity was 32 to 35 cars per month. That's what. These guys in 1908 changed the way their production used to happen. They changed it to assembly line. This is till date used globally for all the manufacturing stuff. Assembly line, cars started moving on a belt. And people became stationary. No more movement, no more dragging of material. Well, it speeded the process. The concept of mass production started with these guys because the production capacity increased 3 to 4 times. That's lean. You were able to manufacture cars in lesser time, faster process. That's what is lean. Bottom line, they did something which was lean. Say production there. Because earlier, if I take, it's roughly about 1 car a day. Here, we are about 3 to 4 cars a day. Practically, the time of making 1 car reduced drastically. Time, lean is time. World got the word lean from Toyota. Toyota came with this concept of Toyota Production System, which is generally referred as TPS. TPS is nothing other than collection of lean tools. Lean tools, how they are implemented. Technically, just a quick background of this Toyota. When Toyota came into existence, when Japan was bombarded, they were any which was a part of World War I, World War II, and after they were bombarded, technically the entire economy was in a bad shape already because of being into World War for a pretty long time. And after the bombing, the economy had crippled. The entire country would have filed bank, like they were at the verge of filing bankruptcy. So the entire country had a choice: either you surrender or you pretty much take the difficult route of like using whatever resources are available and just try to regroup as a nation. They chose the difficult method. Yes, these guys, in talking about Toyota, these guys realized that if I want to beat Ford Motors, I can't beat them. They're huge, massive. They have monopoly. They have no problem of capital. They have great infrastructure. I can't beat General Motors. They have great infrastructure. They don't have a capital problem. We have every problem. Yes, we have limited money, limited resources, limited infrastructure. But with whatever we have, if we want to beat these giants, only way to beat this giant is quality. So let's craft something which is best. And that's where the concept of lean originates. Creating best out of nothing, full and complete utilization of resources. Necessity is the mother of invention. So lean did not happen. Lean had they had no choice, which created them to use lean concepts. So technically it created out of the need. So lean concepts were learned, practiced, and that's, yes, they created a masterpiece, Toyota car. That was known for its reliability. Till date, there's nothing better than Toyota when it comes to reliability. And technically, when we talk about Toyota, these cars was much cheaper, reliable comfort-wise, economy, like the fuel efficiency-wise, everything was better. People got fascinated by Toyota product, and soon globally people realized that Japanese people have learned something called lean, and well, these guys are striking amazing quality, which nobody knows how to deal with it. So Japanese companies started getting a lot of investment, a lot of investors started moving to Japan, and Japanese quality became the hallmark for everyone. Well, this was troubling a lot of other people and a lot of other brands. That gave birth to Six Sigma. Six Sigma happened because of lean. Otherwise, this would have probably, I don't know when it would have happened, but it happened because of lean, because a big giant in one of the product, Motorola. This is where Six Sigma started. The CEO of Motorola, who was Bob Galvin was facing big issues. There were warranty claims issues all throughout. Customer had no choices. But now there were new companies started in Japan which were dealing into Motorola pagers, Motorola walkie, like Motorola was into pager and walkie-talkie, which is used by police guard and security officials. Japanese companies which were newly started, they were manufacturing pagers, walkie-talkie, were much cheaper and better than Motorola. Investors started losing out money, like they're pulling out money from Motorola. They were they lost their client because Japanese product were much better. And soon a project was given to senior scientist in research and development. He's known as father of Six Sigma, which is Bill Smith. Bill Smith was given task along with this another gentleman, Dr. Michael Harry, spelled as M-I-K-E-L. Dr. Michael Harry was assistant of Bill Smith. These guys were given a task to come up with something which can beat this so-called lean. So yes, in 1986, they announced it to the world. We have come up with a term called something called Six Sigma. Nobody knew what is Six Sigma. They said this can give you quality of 99.99966%. Unbelievable, unbelievable, because in that generation, 90% quality was great. With lean, they were striking 99%, which is unbelievable for them. Even Japanese got shock of their life. Is that also possible? The 3.4 defects in 1 million. Motorola regained everything they had lost. Market share, investors, they became massive. Thanks to Bob Galvin. This guy was a noble soul. Never tried to keep it as a secret information, company proprietary information. They conducted a lot of seminars at Motorola facility, and they invited companies to come and see how Six Sigma projects are done, how you do data analysis, reduce the defects, reduce the variation in the process. And they taught a lot of industries how to do Six Sigma. This guy wanted industry to benefit. Big companies like ABB, Allied Signal, Honeywell, they're bigger than Motorola in a different area. Practically, they incorporated Six Sigma, and yes, they became massive. Why? Because their revenue, I'm not talking about the revenue, their cost saving was in billions of dollars. People were not creating revenue in billions, they were saving cost in billions of dollars. It was talk of the town. And finally, the biggest game changer stepped in. 1995, General Electric came into picture, which is General Electric was headed by Jack Welch. General Electric was massive. Even till it's a big company. These guys used Six Sigma for themselves. They used it for their clients, and they became consultants of Six Sigma like us. That you've got a problem, approach us. We'll solve the problem using Six Sigma. We talk about DMAIC, just ahead of this. We talk about DMAIC. Let's understand their role in DMAIC. Old version of Six Sigma just had 4 phases. This is Motorola version. Only statistics. General Electric made it DMAIC. They said you guys have definitely a great method of like solving a business problem, but you're missing a trick, project management. If you don't have project management done, you are not doing it the right way. So they made it DMAIC, they made it popular. Today, whatever we know of Six Sigma, thanks to Jack Welch. These guys sort of made it DMAIC today. So this is how things evolved thanks to Lean. Six Sigma came into existence. Now, pretty much the last thing post history is last bit of it probably will take another 5 minutes here. Last topic, which is more about belts and rules. So we talked about Six Sigma belts and Six Sigma rules. What are the different belts in Six Sigma? Let's quickly write them down. We have a white belt. We have a yellow belt that we're going through right now. Then we have a green belt. We have a black belt. Let's compare green belt and black belt. Then we have master black belt. We have champion. This is not Six Sigma rule. Champion is not. My Six Sigma belts end at Master Black Belt. These are nomenclatures we will be dealing with practically. So let's quickly talk about what is a white belt, Six Sigma white belt. It's an awareness training. That's it. A case study is picked up. Generally, like you talk about case study, how Six Sigma was implemented in some industry and how they have benefited. You just create an awareness. You don't become a part of Six Sigma project because you have no idea about the tools. We just talk about a case study, how people benefited. You have not learned anything in Six Sigma. So you don't become a part of Six Sigma. It's an awareness program. So you want to do a project in future. So you want your team, your entire organization to be aware of what is Six Sigma. Yellow belt, yes, very important resources. They are active team members of a project. As a yellow belt, you have an overview of DMAIC, what are the tools used, overview of 7 quality tools. You will be playing a very active role in a project because you will be coordinating with a green belt, you'll be coordinating with black belt, you will be getting the data collected, some bit of analysis. Bottom line, you will be playing a critical role in a project success. Project manager role starts when you are a green belt or a black belt. So both are project managers. Both have to lead a project. So either project is a green belt or a black belt project. Now, what is the difference between green belt and black belt? First thing first, you talk about the project management skills. Both have same because both have to lead both the projects, both define till control. So there cannot be difference in their project management skills. So define phase is same. Where the difference will come is statistics. Here there's an exposure, which I'll say low to medium. Here it is extensive exposure. When we learn this stages, we'll understand there's something called normal data. Green belt only deal with normal data. Black belts deal with normal, non-normal, categorical, which is of 3 types. You have binary, you have ordinal, you have nominal, binary, ordinal, nominal. So bottom line, a black belt can analyze any data in the world. There's nothing which is after this. So practically, black belt has no limitation, but the foundation is normal data. So normal data, if you understand, you can go ahead with the subsequent stuff. But technically, that's the difference here. Other than that, project duration. If you're doing a green belt project, how long does it take in real world scenario? Technically, most projects take about 4 to 6 months on an average. Black belt projects take about 9 to 12 months. Can there be exception? Yes, case to case differences will be, but typically projects take this much time. Another part, role. Green belt works within their department. Now that's a contradiction. I said Six Sigma has no boundaries. Practically, I'm saying why work, but this is not a rule, but that's a culture. Generally, it's a 70-30 ratio. Well, 30% of the time on project. And there's a reason. If you are hired, say you are an operations guy, you're dealing with operations management. You are doing this operation work. Now you learn Six Sigma. Now, since you are hired by operations team, your salary is paid by the operations team, they would let you do 70% of your operations work, but 30% of the time, yes, you will solve operational challenges because your salary is paid by the department. If you're HR professional, yes, your salary is paid by HR, so they will make their problem solved rather than somebody else's. So it's not a rule. A green belt can work anywhere. But since the culture is that probably your salary is paid by the department, they'll only make you work in their department. So 30% time, you solve your departmental challenges with Six Sigma. Black belt will poke their nose in everyone's problem. They are 100% project managers. They will work with every stakeholder, every department. Here, cost saving. This is up to the company. This is only for General Electric. General Electric says anything less than $10 million is a green belt project. Cost saving. Anything more than $10 million is a black belt. That's only for General Electric. Your company's VPs, CEOs will decide what will be called as a green belt or black belt based on the cost saving. It's completely dependent on company. Small company, medium company, depending on who is the stakeholder, how they want to classify green belt or black belt project. But typically, a green belt project will be within a department, black belt will be cross-functional project. Master black belt is an experienced black belt who has experience in like diversified industries, departments, domains. Bottom line, is an expert, has an experience of working with multiple. You mentor a team of green belt and black belt. Generally, the team size is about 10 to 12 people. So you manage, or you say manage about 10 to 12 projects at a time. You don't do anything. Practically, you get the work done with the help of your team. You were just managing. You're a mediator between Six Sigma department and management. That's what it is. So that's the role of a master black belt. That's where my Six Sigma belts end. These are designations of management with whom we will be contacting. As Six Sigma professional, we deal with these. So Six Sigma people will deal with champion and sponsor. Sponsor one role, funds the project. CEO, CXO, CTOs, all those people will be these people generally who will be the sponsor, who will be funding the project. My client with whom I'll be working is a champion. Champion is technically the owner of the project. Ideally, head of department, where the project is getting done. So head of department, generally the VPs, like VP operations, VP HR, all those people, generally the VPs who basically say operations team HR, the operations team VP has been facing a challenge in the operations team. This guy has dealt with the general managers, spoken with the supervisors, various technical people in the operations team. They have tried to solve a problem. It's not getting solved. So they contact the Six Sigma team that we have a problem. We have tried to solve it. It's not getting solved. We need your help. So champion will coordinate with the Six Sigma team and will try to get the problem solved. So technically, who is the owner of project? Owner of project is still the champion. This is the management role. Now this champion will be taking our services. We are facilitator. Owner of the project is still champion. So the approval, denial, or review is done by the champion. Project success or failure is champion's responsibility. This person is responsible for removing roadblocks in the project. Somebody is giving you tough time, is giving you runaround, stalling you, was supposed to give you data, is not giving you now, probably making excuses. Do not wait. Inform champion immediately so that champion can solve that problem. Champion is a very, very senior position. This person, and it's not your project, it's champion's project. So champion has rights to know what's going wrong. So you should loop in. So always inform champion if there is an issue. Simple. That's our role. Last thing here, champion himself or herself may be a white belt, a yellow belt, a green belt, a black belt, a master black belt, or even none. That's not a requirement. You have a management, it's a management designation. The champion might have taken a training and might be a Six Sigma. It's an extra skill, would have added. Generally, yes, if I talk about 5-6 years ago, most like out of 10 champion, I would find 2 champions would be Six Sigma professionals. Now that number from 2 has gone to 9 out of 10. I do a lot of specialized training for the champions, which is VP, CEOs, been doing exclusive training for them, one-on-one training based on their organization data. We do that training. Technically, the demand at senior management of Six Sigma has increased immensely. Now, as I said, from 2 to 9 out of 10, which is big jump. Most of the champions nowadays we talk to are Six Sigma professionals themselves. So it's something which is very much demanded if you're looking for like a role in a higher management. Practically, this is all of it. So these are the belts and the roles in Six Sigma. Is it okay and clear with everyone? Everyone's okay?
Yep.
I guess that brings us to the end of our part. So I can hand it over to Michelle. Michelle, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So, before Michelle takes over, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your valuable time. It definitely was a great opportunity for me to connect with all of you professionals from every part of the world. And yes, thanks to IMC for giving the platform to connect with this wonderful audience. Thanks, everyone. Yes, Michelle.
Thank you, Mr. Shashi, and well done, everyone. Thank you, sir, for this very valuable training tonight. That was very informative and fruitful. And good job to all of you for making it till the end of the session. We do hope that you all enjoyed it, and as we look forward to see you all bearing your Lean Six Sigma certification. Just a glimpse of our Lean Six Sigma certification. Here is the Yellow Belt Participation Certificate. And here's for the Yellow Belt. As you can see, it's 2 certificates, and what we call is the dual certification. Dual certification because you will get one from IMC and one from CPD UK London upon completion of the assessment. Okay, the accreditation bodies is here, signatories of our company directors, plus the unique certification number, which can be used by your employers, clients, and other stakeholders to validate the authenticity of your Lean Six Sigma certifications, which you have received. And here is the new CPD certification. As we have mentioned earlier that IMC is a proud CPD member, which stands for Continuing Professional Development. This is one of our largest accreditation body, which is an avenue for professionalizing learning based in United Kingdom, London. It also comes with unique certification number plus the number of CPD internationally. That means it doesn't expire and no need to pay for any renewal fees. Here's for the green belt. And here's for the master black belt. And after getting certified for black belt, once you completed your training and all the certification, most of you will be working with a real projects, implementing all what you have learned from Lean Six Sigma. So once it's fully reviewed and we will get the recommendation from our Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt practitioner, IMC will be providing you this certification, which is the project completion certificate. Moving forward, let me just give you a few ideas of what are the major benefits of getting a Lean Six Sigma certification and training. Having that certification will provide you an endorsement to your employers that you have an explicit skill set, because competition as of now for employment can be severe. So by having proof that you have awareness and you can comply Lean Six Sigma, you can apply Lean Six Sigma, it can set you apart from the crowd. Second thing is that certified Lean Six Sigma professionals get good chances of growing to senior managerial positions. And third, certified professionals are among the highest paid professionals. Is applicable to all types of industries, as Mr. Shashi already mentioned. So, all right. You can prepare your all questions that you have in mind, because right after this, your IMC education counselors will connect with you through a phone call to answer your queries and discuss everything in detail about exam, certification, and other things related to enrollment and training procedures. Plus, I would like to take this opportunity to inform you all with regards to our ongoing promotions. We do have this interesting combo packages for Lean Six Sigma from 50% to 75% off. So the offer varies. It depends on your country. All right. So you can also ask for the further details to your counselors about this. And we are happy to announce that we will be conducting our physical class in Dubai. This will be during weekends, Saturday, Sunday, on October 29th and 30th. It will be full day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Hilton Palm Jumeirah, Dubai, UAE. So what are you waiting for? Be a Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certified while enjoying the astonishing seaside view in Palm Jumeirah, Dubai. All right, and please don't forget to visit our website at www.imcinstitute.ie to get to know more about our services, our team, accreditations, educators, international corporate partners, upcoming class schedules, and of course, our excellent client feedbacks and reviews. Once again, everyone, on behalf of the IMC team, this is Michelle extending our sincerest thanks to all of you for joining us this evening. You guys stay safe and have a happy weekend.